Chapter 62-22. Turning his head and looking at Jian Wushuang. He was already in front of him. Stand still, no one can come near you. Jian Wushuang put his hands down and stood in front of Wu Li, looking at the many powerhouses below, raised his head and slid out. A dark red light directly divided the battlefield. The attack just now has surpassed the 6-star universe god. Directly stunned all the powerhouses who wanted to come forward and make trouble. So strong, he turned out to be a 6-star universe god. Change to the next one. Knowing that Jian Wushuang is a hard bone, he put it aside and went to besiege Wuxia. Unfortunately, it hit the iron plate again. Huiqing's shot was ruthless enough. He didn't have a shield to protect Wuxia. He was worried that Wuxia would be killed in an instant, and the strongest combat power would explode directly. An ancient long stick swept the entire battlefield. A stick fell, and the fallen cosmic was dripping like rain. The melee began. Only Jian Wushuang and Huiqing did not dare to offend a cosmic around them. All went to besiege the others. Broly, who was particularly concerned by Jian Wushuang, did not join in. Instead, she kept following the green-skinned alien girl. Standing on the outermost periphery, her eyes were empty, and she couldn't see anything special. But Jian Wushuang knew that when this guy went crazy, he was a fighting monster. In addition to this one, there are two mysterious powerhouses who have drawn his attention. The two of them stood on the pillars, and although there was a siege around them, they were easily resolved. But the shot was not heavy, and there was always someone interfering. The remaining 4 pillars are all 5-star cosmic gods, and there are dozens of 4-star cosmic gods around them. Some of them are not partners, but they have provided benefits in advance and invited many 4-star cosmic guardians. The weak cosmic gods also know that this time, there is no way to reap the benefits, and they can only rely on those powerful cosmic gods. Otherwise it will be in vain. The Lord of the Universe, although weak, has also reversed in this battle, not to participate in the war, but to stand on a pillar, and with every breath, the pillar can rise 100 feet. That is to say 100 breaths can reach 10,000 feet. Those who have a heart, take advantage of this. Let the Lord of the Universe stand up, and stand up on their own when they reach 9,000 feet. With this the battle is accelerated. It's still possible. Wuxia stared at the tallest pillar in surprise, his mouth widened. At this time, their pillars were only 1,000 feet tall. After Jian Wushuang saw it through, he turned to look at Wu Li and said, "It's my turn." "What? You go up, what should I do? I can't protect you." Wu Li was taken aback, and was a little overwhelmed. "Just stand aside and watch." After Jian Wushuang stepped on the pillar, he took a breath and the pillar suddenly soared 100 feet. This scene shocked everyone. I didn't expect Jian Wushuang to be the master of the universe. He is so powerful. Yet he is a master of the universe. The universe god standing on the pillar looked over and exclaimed, "How did he do it? He can't be the Lord of the Universe. His divine power has at least reached the 6-star cosmos god. How can he be the Lord of the Universe? There must be something wrong. Where's the watchman? Come out and explain it." On the 2 pillars on the edge, 2 powerful mysterious people also looked at Jian Wushuang. He's really out of order. The Lord of the Universe. It seems that he has broken the shackles of the rules. Once the calamity is successful, I am afraid that he will be the of time and space. Broly also saw this scene. His empty eyes stared at Jian Wushuang, and his chest jumped suddenly. Fighting intent also came to mind. Jian Wushuang." Hearing Broly speak, the green-skinned girl was surprised. "Big man, you can speak? Tasha, what is this big fool talking about?" The arrogant young man frowned. He always thought Broly was a fool, and he didn't expect to speak. Although Broly is a powerful of the universe, after he arrived in the Realm King continent, he didn't know what to say, and his eyes were empty, like a piece of wood. But he was very fond of the green-skinned alien girl, and it was the other party who woke him up, so he followed the other party all the time. After seeing Jian Wushuang at this moment, some fragmented memories awakened in his mind. "Hey big man, what's your name?" Hearing the girl's call, Broly, who was still up and down just now, suddenly became quiet again. The gnawing Baba replied, "Broly. Broly is a weird name, but it's sweet. This sentence made the face of the arrogant young man beside him sank, and he snorted coldly. Tasha, he is just a slave, a fool, why so much nonsense? The top priority is to occupy a pillar. How can we grab the pillar with our little combat power? Or can you give me a solution? The alien girl looked at the arrogant young man with disgust in her eyes. She liked a fool and didn't want to look at the other party. And she couldn't speak when she saw the other party. Curled his lips and said, Old man, or you join some teams with Tuashan, lest this time come in vain. Broly and I will not go to this muddy water. The old man was the elder of their tribe, and the arrogant young man named Tuashan was a quasi-senior, and a direct disciple of the old man. Miss, the leader's mission this time is to make you famous. If you don't participate in the war, I'm afraid it will be difficult to gain the reputation of our ancient gods. Tasha took a deep breath, frowned and replied, But my father won't let me risk my fall to join the battle. Just when there was a stalemate, Broly finally said a complete sentence. Grab the pillar, it'll protect you. He looked firmly at Tasha, who was half his size. You. After Tuashan heard it, he sneered. You also want to participate in the war and protect Tasha. And don't look at your divine power. You are cannon fodder when you go. Who do you think you are? After speaking, he couldn't help laughing sarcastically. Among the 8 pillars of Blood Cloud, there are super beings that can sweep everything, and the rest are also 5-star cosmic gods. And there are a large number of 4-star cosmic gods beside them. Broly, a quasi 2-star, what can he do? Facing the sarcasm, Broly didn't retort, but there was firmness in his empty eyes. After the elder heard about it, he was overjoyed. He knew that his young lady had a good impression of Broly, and he wanted to make a name for the ancient god realm in this battle. So he said, Miss, Broly said that's right, I can also protect Mississippi. No matter what the old man says, the peak combat power can reach the 5-star cosmic god. If the young lady is willing to come out with those treasures, she can recruit a group of 4-star cosmic gods guardians. As long as you take down a pillar, this time the ancient gods will definitely be in the realm again. The mainland stands up, and even restores its former glory. Chapter 62-23. No. Tasha shook his head firmly. It's too dangerous, it will kill a lot of people. Dead. If other strong people heard it, they would definitely burst into laughter. He has become a cosmic god, and he still cares whether he dies or not. It's just childish at home. But the old man was used to this and said bitterly, Miss, don't forget, if you promised the leader when you came out. If you can't do it, the old man can only bring the young lady back to the realm of the gods, and then he will not be able to come out again. The meaning of the words is obvious, this is to threaten her. Tasha was a little uncertain, glanced at the old man, and there was hesitation in his eyes. After seeing her thoughts, Tuashan next to him said, Tasha, you can rest assured, I also have a quasi 5-star combat power, enough to protect you. We just need to pick a weak pillar. Then you don't need to do anything, stand on the pillar. As for the treasures spent, it is nothing at all. Our god realm is not short of treasures. What is lacking is the opportunity to stand on the Realm King continent again. But Tasha was still a little worried. When the elder saw this, he hit the railway while it was hot. Miss Tasha, don't forget, those once noble ascended warriors, for the sacrifice of the tribe. Are you willing to let the tribe of God's domain bury in the tomb of the Realm King continent? It's time for us to stand up. As long as we play a role in this war, and make a name for ourselves, we can once again shine on the entire continent. Bright God's domain. Although Tasha was simple, he also heard something wrong, and said in a low voice, Is there something you are hiding from me, Elder Tuashan? The two looked at each other, and felt that there was no need to hide it, so they told the truth. Speaking of which, the ancient god realm was once famous in the Realm King continent, and many super beings were born. It is a pity that when a world beast attacked, those strong men fell, and the entire ancient gods were also eroded by the world beasts. After the blackening, the powerhouses of the divine realm have become even more powerful. Help the world beast to break the World King continent. However, he was soon suppressed by the 7th generation Kaiwang god. It has been suppressed until today, only then has it loosened. Allow some people from the ancient gods to come out and enter the realm of kings to walk around. However, it is not so simple to want the ancient gods to shine again. Now there is an opportunity in front of them. Compete for the chance here and get the super source. You will be able to obtain the forgiveness of the king god. The elders knew this news for a long time, but the leader's will was not firm, and he wanted to be isolated from the world all the time. But the old man and his disciple Tuashan didn't want to live like that anymore. They were once the most noble ancient gods in the Realm King continent. How can I be reconciled now that I have been placed on the pillar of shame? So come here, not only to show his face, but more importantly to help Kaiwang God. Although they don't even know where the Realm King is, they have to make a name for themselves first, or have their own value, before they can get in touch with the Realm King. After learning all this, Tasha's eyes flashed and he clenched his fists. When he looked up, his eyes were firm. For God's domain! She chanted silently, and Tuashan and the elders beside her also nodded silently. Only Broly stood there stupidly, staring at Tasha. Now as long as the other party nods, he will explode. Elder, shall we go and get a pillar of God? Tasha turned his head and glanced at the Bafeng divine pillar. Two of them have been abandoned by everyone. It is the two pillars of Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing who protect the law. Among them, the divine pillar exclusively owned by Jian Wushuang has reached 8,000 feet. It is the fastest divine pillar. Originally, one divine pillar reached 9,000 feet, but was shot down by Hui Qing. Now it has fallen back 1,000 feet. Hearing the words, the elder was about to speak when he was interrupted by Broly next to him. She frowned, a little unhappy, because the lady had a good impression of the other party. She didn't say anything but looked over. Broly raised his head, raised his finger in the direction of Jian Wushuang, and said, "Grab this one." The old man's face darkened instantly when he heard that. Sure enough, you are a fool. Didn't you see that the existence of the universe with more than 6 stars? To that divine pillar, at least hundreds of elders, or the ancient gods of all dynasties will have hope. Do you think that you are who is it? Tuashan couldn't help sneering. This time, even Tasha shook his head in despair and comforted. Broly, our strength is limited. To avoid that existence, we can't take risks. Broly seemed to be obedient to Tasha's words, but he didn't refute, but nodded heavily. A little bit suppressed the fighting intent against Jian Wushuang in the bottom of my heart. The elder no longer paid any attention to Broly, but looked at Tasha. Miss, I have already contacted a quasi-5-star cosmic god. He is currently besieging the 7th divine pillar, which is the weakest. We only need to take out enough ancient divine stones, and they will be willing to help us occupy that divine pillar and return it. 34-star universe gods will assist. He had already connected everything in secret. After confirming, he directly contacted the quasi-5-star universe god. The cosmic on the 7th divine pillar also seemed to have noticed something was wrong. Just as he was about to call for help, he found that several cosmic gods were besieging him. Among them, there is a powerful god realm veteran, whose divine power is extremely terrifying. He is already the pinnacle powerhouse among the 5-star cosmic gods. He punched the 5-star cosmic on the pillar with one punch. The 7th divine pillar also changed hands again. This kind of thing has become commonplace. Every time the pillar rises, the battle becomes extraordinarily fierce. Tasha couldn't bear it in his eyes, but he still fell on the pillar, and with a wave of his hands, a white light shield fell to his side. Broly, you come to me. It's too dangerous outside. This is the life-saving treasure that her father gave her. It can block the full blow of the 6-star cosmic god. The 5-star cosmic needs a lot of effort to break through. In addition, the guardian of the gods, and the dozens of universe gods who have been bribed around. He and the pillar are actually very stable. No need for Broly. Besides, Broly is not strong in her eyes. It's just a quasi-2-star cosmic god. It doesn't work at all. And if you go, you will die in vain. Broly turned his head and glanced at Jian Wushuang's position, then nodded heavily. When he walked to Tasha, he was burly like a tower of gods. Although belligerent, it is also necessary to divide people. He didn't even bother to look at the universe gods in front of him, naturally not ready to shoot. Seeing this, Tuashang glanced at Broly with great contempt. I just said I wanted to protect Tasha, but now I hide behind the woman. I underestimated you. I thought Broly was a fool, but he was quite smart. If you rashly fight, a 2-star cosmic will soon fall. Hiding behind is indeed a good choice. Chapter 62-24. Just when the 7th divine pillar changed hands, the first divine pillar on Jian Wushuang's side had reached 9,900 feet. It is the tallest pillar of God. Wu Li, come up. Jian Wushuang stepped down directly from the pillar. Well, Wu Li had been standing awkwardly behind Jian Wushuang, and when he heard the call to himself, he immediately regained his energy and hurriedly stepped onto the pillar. It's still 100 feet away, so I will trouble Brother Wushuang to protect me for a while longer. Don't worry, you will be the first. After Jian Wushuang stepped down from the divine pillar, he raised his eyebrows and looked at the 7th divine pillar. He could also feel that Broly also seemed to be paying attention to him, and the two looked at each other, which aroused a strong desire to fight in the body. Call. Taking a deep breath, he did not stay on the first pillar for a long time, but arrived at the 2nd pillar. Although the pillars were far apart, it was only a blink of an eye to him. Hui Qing, you go to the 1st pillar of God, let me come here. Hui Qing didn't hesitate, and went directly to Wu Li's side. Wu Zhua also understood very well, so he stepped down from the pillar and let Jian Wushuang go up. This will save a lot of time. Looks like you don't need me very much. Hearing the sound, Jian Wushuang turned his head to look at Bruce indifferently, and said, Why, your hands are itchy. A little. Bruce nodded. From the beginning to the end, he and Shenmue King sat cross-legged in the void, and it was Hui Qing who blocked the siege of the universe gods. The key point is that this siege didn't last long before it dissipated. Let him, the super powerhouse who merged with the body of the true god, feel lonely. In this way, I will show you a clear path. On the 7th pillar, there are the most powerful people under siege, so you can sneak in and take the opportunity to kick that alien girl away. I see that the only strong person beside her is the blue-scaled old man. The 5-star universe god is not your opponent at all. Oh. Hearing that, Bruce also looked up at the 7th divine pillar, which was a little distance from here, but he could see the situation over there. As Jian Wushuang said, it is indeed the weakest of these pillars, but he didn't know that it was a pit. Don't know, Broly. Don't worry, the pillars here will be 10,000 feet long, and I will help you later. There was a wicked smile in Jian Wu's eyes. I want to take the opportunity to test Broly's current strength. The 2-star universe on the surface does not pose much of a threat to Bru. Wu Zhua, who was next to him, also saw what he was thinking and said to the side, Brother Bruce, when you fought with Lan Yen, you were extremely powerful, and now I am afraid you must have the combat power of the 6-star cosmic god. The 7th divine pillar, there shouldn't be much of a problem. Let's take the opportunity to show us a hand. Bruce has also been imprinted for many years, and there has been no real battle. He moved his shoulders, licked the corner of his mouth, and said with a fighting spirit, It's been a while since I haven't moved my muscles and bones. Then I'll go meet those universe gods and see how much I can do. After he finished speaking, he went straight away. The divine power suddenly increased to the quasi-6-star cosmic god, and the terrifying suppression force caused the surrounding cosmic gods to avoid them one after another. No, this guy is in the same group as the 1st god pillar and the 2nd god pillar. Many cosmic gods looked over. Be very careful with Bruce. Don't you think it's too greedy? The elders of the divine realm also came out when they saw that Blue was directed at the 7th divine pillar. His eyes were gloomy, and there was fear in his heart. The divine power that Bruce just released has already reached the quasi-6-star level. Before the battle, the divine power is so powerful. By no means small characters. It is likely to be a 6-star universe god. And he is only quasi-6 stars, the gap between them is too big. What's more, Blue is still with the 2 super existences. He naturally has to be careful, and one is likely to fall if he is not careful. Blue fell in the middle of the crowd. raised his hand with a chi slash, and directly knocked back the universe gods, who were besieging the pillar of the seventh god. I don't want to bully others, but I want this from the Shenju. The person who guards the pillar can fight with me. If I lose, I will retire. His words were arrogant, but no one dared to question it. The complexion of the god's domain elder was a little embarrassed. Among the strong guards who guarded the pillars other than him, none of them had the guts to fight against Bruce. And those people were bought by him with money. He wouldn't be desperate at all, let alone with a quasi-6 star, or even a 6-star cosmic god. The 4-star cosmic can't stop it, and the quasi-5 star can only watch from the outside. When Tuashan saw Bruce appearing, his eyes were a little depressed. He whispered, "Master, what should I do now?" "You take the rest to protect Miss Tasha, and leave the rest to me." The elder of the gods seemed to have made a heavy decision. He clenched his hands tightly and shattered the robe directly, revealing the complete blue-scale battle armor. When facing Bruce, he said in a serious tone, "Since your excellency insists, let the old man fight against your excellency. This battle has nothing to do with other people." "Okay," Blue said indifferently. "As long as you can block me for a quarter of an hour, you will win." As soon as the voice fell, he shot directly. The powerful divine power aroused the surrounding time and space, sending out waves of waves. Bruce's green arms spread directly, rushing towards the elder of the gods. In the face of this powerful means, the elders of the divine realm did not panic, crossed his hands and directly caught Bruce's arms in his arms, and suddenly forced Bruce's arms directly. The powerful divine power also manifested at this moment. From the quasi-6-star cosmic god, the divine power directly hit 600 million. The terrifying combat power made everyone gasp. The onlookers were stunned, knowing that no matter who wins this time, they won't be able to take down this divine pillar, and they started to retreat one after another. However, there were 3 people staring at them with hot eyes. The 3 looked different, but there was a strange symbol between their eyebrows. Obviously from one side, and the strength is not weak, with a quasi-5-star combat power. Jia, the quasi-6-star cosmic god, comparable to the average 6-star cosmic god. The powerhouse at this stage is just right for us. The head of the one has a thin face and an evil aura in his eyes. The 2 next to them also nodded their heads, revealing greedy eyes. Wait, they still have hidden powers, don't worry. The battle between Bruce and the elders of God's domain has reached a fever pitch. Bruce, who broke a pen, did not recover directly, but fought with one arm, but compressed the opponent to fight. The divine power directly broke through 600 million and became a genuine 6-star cosmic god. Over the years, his divine power has indeed improved a lot. At the beginning, he only initially merged with the divine body of Danbao, and he was able to become a 4-star cosmic god. After the complete fusion, his divine power has directly reached the quasi-6-star level, and with the years of practice, he has reached the level of the 6-star cosmic god. Chapter 62-25. Haha, what a joy! Blue was bombarded by the opponent on the edge of the stone pillar, and he did not take the opportunity to attack Tasha, but stood up leisurely and tore off the broken white skin on his body. The sturdy upper body leaked out, and the green muscle lines were extremely obvious. "What?" he roared angrily, recovered his broken left arm, moved slightly, and said indifferently, "The warm-up is over, now you can really start." "What?" The elder of the gods was a little dumbfounded. He had just used 120% of his combat power, and barely drew a draw. Didn't expect this to just start. Before he could react, Bruce came behind him, kicked him in the back, and fell directly from the void. On the way to the rapid fall, just as he was about to stabilize his figure, another heavy blow landed on his head. Boom! This heavy blow made him unconscious and turned the world around. With one hand held by Bruce, a vapor wave condensed in his hand and blasted out at the falling god domain elders. Boom! Countless air waves burst out from his hands. The time and space of the fight vibrated. If you don't admit defeat, you will only fall. Bruce reminded, and began to condense a larger air wave with his hands. This scene reminded Broly on the pillar of Jian Wuxuang at the beginning. eyes suddenly began to burst. Tasha, who was originally staring at the battle, also found something wrong with Broly and said in surprise, "Broly, what's wrong with you?" She thought it was Broly who was afraid, and quickly comforted. "Don't worry, you'll be fine. If it's a big deal, let go of this pillar." Tuashan, who found that something was wrong in the distance, also flew to the pillar, worried about Tasha's comfort. "This time it's over. The master is not an opponent. We can only give up the divine pillar. If I knew earlier, I had my senior brother come here. With his strength, he shouldn't be weak on that guy." Tasha shook his head and said silently, "No one can easily win the divine pillar except the ancient god. Don't forget that he has accomplices. Eternal God. That is a title obtained by the superpowers of the ancient gods in all dynasties. From ancient times to the present, there are only a few superpowers who have won the title in the ancient gods. Tasha's father was an ancient god. Only this kind of super existence can dominate a party here, just like Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing. Unfortunately, this time came in a hurry. Tasha himself didn't think much of it. It was only at this moment that Tuashan thought that Bruce was with Jian Wushuang and others. Turning to look at the pillar of the first god, he has completely obtained the blood cloud shield, and is the first to meet the requirements. Then came the second divine pillar, which also reached 9,000 feet. Immediate success. Now come to the seventh god pillar. There are 6 people in the group, 2 of them are absolute super strong. There is also a real 6-star cosmic who is fighting with the elders. The remaining 3 are nothing to worry about, but they can all obtain the divine pillar. They really have no chance. The proud Camel Mountain also lowered his head. Tasha's thin lips parted lightly, wanting to admit defeat for the elders. There was a light tap on the shoulder. Turning around, it was naturally Broly. "Let me." Broly's words were brief. He took a slight step and walked in front of Tasha. "In such a situation we must take action." Although Tuashan wanted to ridicule the other party, he couldn't help but side the other party's loyalty, and reluctantly reassured him. "Forget it. Your strength is not enough, far from enough. Wait for me." Broly finished and jumped off the pillar. Tasha yelled anxiously, "Broly, this big fool." Tuashan took a deep breath. Loyalty indeed. But unfortunately it doesn't look at the situation. In this kind of battle, a 2-star cosmic can participate in the battle. The 2 looked at the battle below at the same time. Broly falling below was also seen. Without any hesitation, Tasha shouted directly, "Senior, we admit defeat and are willing to give up the divine pillar." No. The elder of the divine realm was seriously injured, but he still did not want to give up. This is a battle to make them return to the glory of the ancient gods. Even if he ships it, he can't admit defeat. If they die in battle, they might be able to show the realm gods, and give them a chance to stand up again in the ancient gods. If you give up easily, everything will be broken. At this time, he hadn't found Broly who had appeared. Instead, he turned his head to look at Bruce and said firmly, "In this battle, the old man can die in the hands of your excellency, but I ask you to put a horse on the pillar, and the people above will not threaten your excellency." "Why?" Bruce shook his head slightly. For a while my heart softened. He wasn't like this at first, but after integrating Dan Bao's life divine body, he had a heart of compassion for all beings, and some couldn't bear it. I thought about sealing it first, and then going to take down the divine pillar. But before he could take action, a terrifying figure came quietly behind him. Standing opposite Broly, the elder of the divine realm looked carefully, and his eyes narrowed slightly after discovering that it was Broly. Just as he was about to speak, he found that Broly had undergone tremendous changes at this time, especially divine changes. This scene also caught the onlookers. Another 5-star universe god. Unfortunately, in the face of the 6-star universe god, it has no effect. Bruce thought the same way, turned his head suddenly, and punched Broly's chest fiercely, directly knocking back hundreds of millions of miles. This blow is enough to seriously injure the 5-star cosmic god. Tasha on the pillar was particularly worried. Camel Mountain was shocked that Broly had hidden his divine power. Pretending to be a 2-star cosmic by their side for so long, they did not expect to be a 5-star cosmic god. However, the current situation has not changed in any way. But as soon as he thought so, he was slapped in the face. Broly stopped the silhouette flying upside down, and then charged towards Bruce again. And this time his divine power has skyrocketed again, reaching the peak of the 5-star universe god. How did he do it? Hushin's eyes narrowed, staring at Broly below in disbelief. The same goes for Tasha, who didn't expect Broly to be so powerful. It is good. Only the elders of the divine realm were delighted, and took the initiative to attack Bruce with Broly. The battle also became anxious again. Bruce then stopped the elders of God's domain, and then took a closer look at Broly. He didn't know if he didn't see it, but he was really startled when he saw it. Life is changing. After he integrated Danbao's life body, he could see the practitioner's life body at a glance. For example, the body of life of the elders of the gods is a special life that is rarely found in the ancient gods on the Realm King continent. This kind of life is not unique, but a life that belongs to Kaiwan continent. To be precise, it is a being that cannot cultivate in time and space, only practice in the Realm King continent. And Broly is different. His divine body is changed according to the opponent. Chapter 62-26. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. Strong is strong. It was only a short burst, and it had already reached the level of a quasi-6-star cosmic god. Bruton felt a pressure hit. Turning around and punching, the divine power broke out completely, and the fist shadow suddenly hit the chest of the god domain elder like a streamer. Click. A sound of the shattering of the divine body came, and the divine body of the elder of the gods was directly shattered. Puff. The blood spurted out, dyeing the void red. If it comes again, I am afraid that it will perish. Seeing this, Broly still retained consciousness and shouted, "Go away! He wants to fight Bruce alone. Don't admit defeat yet." Bruce didn't know how capable Broly was, thinking that if he seriously injured the elders of the divine realm, he would be able to let the other party retreat. Unexpectedly, Broly had a high fighting spirit and rushed towards him again. The divine power also continued to climb and quickly broke through 600 million. Humph! Bruce snorted coldly, gathered his strength again, and slammed his fists out, like two dragons sweeping the sky, shattering everything and charging forward. These 2 punches are enough to kill the quasi-6-star cosmic god. Apparently it was a killer. At this time, Broly had just stood firm on the 6-star universe god, and even if he didn't die, he would be seriously injured. But he didn't dodge at all, just hit it hard. He opened his hands, grabbed the necks of the 2 flood dragons, squeezed hard, and instantly broke Bruce's ultimate move. What? Bruce's face sank. He didn't expect Broly to be so powerful, so he broke his ultimate move and completely ignored his attack methods. The defense is amazing. The power is comparable to the 6-star universe god, and the key is to continue to grow. He panicked instantly. The figure suddenly rose up, and the divine power on his body also crackled. Dodging the impact of Broly, his eyes sank, and he began to gather the strongest secret method. Magic Flash Tribulation. Bruce shouted angrily, and the surrounding time and space began to condense into a ball, constantly breeding magic. The terrifying force of life also swept in. All the beings present felt that their breathing became short of breath. Even Jian Wushuang and Hui Qing could clearly feel the attraction. But there is no threat to the 2 of them. At most they are a little uncomfortable. Jian Wushuang looked at all of this, and was a little surprised. Not because Broly had become stronger again, but because of his growth over the years. Since the integration of Danbao's life divine body, the potential is definitely the top 3 in the northern time and space. He was only weaker than Hui Qing. Brother Wuzhua, it's your turn. He got up and left the pillar directly, still reached 1,000 feet. Wu Li was the first to reach 10,000 feet, and now the second pillar of God has also successfully reached the top. The third divine pillar is guarded by a quasi-6-star cosmic god, as well as a number of 5-star cosmic gods protecting the law, has reached more than 9,000 feet. It's a pity that Hui Qing and Shimu Wang picked peaches. Right now Huiqing and Blue are the only ones left to be idle. It's time to meet Broly. It's almost time for him to come up with the strongest secret technique. Huiqing also took shelter. The two just nodded and flew towards the 7th pillar. But just as they flew away, Blue's stunt has come out. A swirling wave of light struck down from the sky, pointing directly at Broly. What? Broly's hands were hard to resist, and the divine body was shaking. The rising divine power actually began to decline. The tough resistance made him keep retreating. At this moment, the 3 evil powerhouses who had been staring at this battle suddenly erupted. Ready for action. Swish. Almost only momentarily, the speed of the 3 of them reached an unpredictable height. Even Jian Wushuang and Huiqing in the distance didn't react. I saw 3 black figures and rushed to Broly's side. 2 of them supported Broly, and one of them took out a treasure that surprised Jian Wushuang. Magic pot. After seeing the mark of the top score, Jian Wu's eyes shrank, and his speed increased to the strongest at this moment, and he wanted to go and stop the 3. But as soon as he set off, he was trapped by a powerful restraint force. Kindness. That invisible force of restraint seemed to come from the supreme rules of the Realm King continent. Who is it? His brows were wrinkled, the thought power of the blood cloud was suppressed, and he was unable to control him, but now he was trapped. Huiqing also found something strange, and wanted to come forward to help, but was also stopped. Neither could move. Can only watch Broly being absorbed by the magic pot. Haha, this time is definitely enough, let's go. The strong bald man at the head laughed loudly, took the magic pot, and kicked Broly away from the sky. Blue, who was in the sky, stared at the bottom in surprise at a loss. Broly, who was still desperately resisting just now, was attacked by 3 5-star universe gods, and he instantly broke the defense and lost the slightest combat power. He was a little confused himself, thinking that the 3 cosmic gods were helping him, and for a while stood in the sky at a loss. Seeing that the 3 were about to escape, Jian Wushuang quickly reminded, Blue, stop the 3 of them. Okay. Blue heard the words without hesitation, and wanted to stop the 3 of them. But as soon as he started, he was dodged by the 3 of them. Big man, you'd better not make yourself uncomfortable. The bald-headed powerhouse headed by, took out a gray token, crushed it, and said disdainfully, Now you bugs, you can continue to fight for those garbage. The voice fell, a space-time channel was opened, and the 3 people entered the channel in a flash. Jian Wushuang couldn't take it any longer, and his divine power suddenly increased. Super Eternal Change, boom. The divine power has been directly upgraded to the top of the 6-star. But that's not enough. A dark red force with an arc rose up. The ultimate eternal change. He roared, and his divine power directly broke 8 stars. The beast soldier also appeared behind, just broke free in an instant. This scene made the 2 mysterious black-robed powerhouses on the 5th and 6th pillars look shocked. He actually has 8-star combat power. The 8-star universe god. That is already the super powerhouse of the entire Realm King continent. Like the Realm Kings of the 4 worlds, the strongest is no more than 6 stars. The Northern Realm King does not count, because there is no divine body. If there is a divine body, it can also reach the 5-star or even 6-star cosmic god. As for the Great Realm King, his combat power has reached the level of the 7-star universe god. But these are true gods. You can advance to the existence of space-time gods. Has unlimited potential. But now Jian Wushuang, a cultivator who came out of the northern time and space, actually has divine power that surpasses that of the Great Realm King. How can you not surprise them both? I can't stop him. The tall black-robed strong man on the 6th god's pillar exclaimed, and could only let go. This scene also made Jian Wushuang aware, turned his head and glanced at the 2 of them coldly. Immediately rushed to the space-time channel. The magic pot appeared in the real world, which had to make him alert. Because this treasure is used to deal with world beasts. Where is there a world beast in the Realm King continent? Chapter 62-27. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. But before he reached the entrance of the space-time passage, he was stopped by two figures. Jian Wushuang, your mission has been completed. Jian Wushuang was taken aback by the non-committal tone. At the same time, there are speculations. At this time Wuxia and others also followed. What do you mean? Jian Wushuang frowned, wanting to ask for evidence. But there was an insurmountable force that seemed to bind him. This also proves that this matter needs to be detached from the house, and does not need him to intervene. The figure in black robe said indifferently. It's very simple. Wuxia's promise has been fulfilled, and you don't need to worry about the rest. Could it be that you are? Wuxia's face became solemn, thinking of the promise he had promised earlier. Otherwise he would not come here. The black robe figure just nodded, and did not answer directly. After glancing at Jian Wushuang thoughtfully, he flashed into the space-time channel. Everyone present was shocked by this sudden scene. Tasha and the elders also took the opportunity to take the injured Broly away from the passage of time and space. Knowing that there is no benefit to staying, he can only escape first. Jian Wushuang didn't care about it at all. In the bottom of my heart, I was wondering the purpose of the two figures in black robes, but I thought about it. Since it has nothing to do with me, it would be better, even if there is a crisis of the beast, it has nothing to do with him. He is just a practitioner. After seeing everything in the world of consciousness, I know the ultimate mystery of the starry sky. Not so much curiosity. Sometimes trying to let go is the greatest kindness to yourself. Okay, let's stop standing. Now that we've fulfilled our promise, it's time to leave or stay. You decide. Jian Wushuang let go a lot at this moment, feeling that the world god continent is so big that he has not yet ventured through it well, and there is no need to fall into those so-called conspiracies. Coupled with his current strength, no one dares to count the time and space of the north anymore, so he can just let go. Wuxia and others also breathed a sigh of relief. Although Huiqing and Jian Wushuang were two super powerful people, they were still under pressure from the original promise. Decided to stay in Rome. But Jian Wushuang didn't feel that way. He doesn't see the opportunity here. Even if he gets it, it's useless. After seeing everyone's intention to stay, he did not leave immediately, but protected Wuxia and others to stand on the pillar. But he did not go up. Everyone, it's time to part. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath and spoke his thoughts. He is not yet the god of the universe, because he is taking a brand new path, which is different from ordinary practitioners. The opportunities required are also different. Everyone was speechless for a while, and finally Wuxia said, Actually, I noticed it after you recovered. You have seen it over the years, and the strength of the few of us has gradually been unable to keep up with the changes in you and Huiqing. It is indeed time to part. I'm not leaving, Huiqing said with a rare smile. I've already penetrated my own future. I understand my destination, and it is useless to work hard. Maybe I will live with you for a long time. Such an optimistic Huiqing made Jian Wushuang very gratified, patted the other party's shoulder and said, This is good. At least it won't be so tired. I'm different. I don't know how to get through my calamity. Maybe the next time we'll be running here. Tired? You can come back anytime. Wu Li and Shenmu Wang also watched together. After saying goodbye to everyone, Jian Wushuang made a casual stroke, forcibly breaking a space-time channel, and after taking one last look at everyone, he left in a hurry. When leaving, the consciousness in the blood cloud let out a sigh of relief. Others only know that Jian Wushuang's true combat power is the 8-star universe god. But no one knows that Jian Wushuang's consciousness can block everything, which has exceeded the consciousness of blood cloud. If you want, you can make new rules here. The northwest frontier of the world god continent. This is the place where all races gather, and it is also the place where practitioners of the 4 major time and space are discouraged. Because the creatures here came from before the world god continent was broken. Their ancestors are buried here. Speaking of which, the world god continent has the star territory of the gods, as well as the tombs of the gods. And the wild ancient area in the northwest is the core of the cemetery of the gods. There are countless powerhouses buried here. There are many of them with the same strength as Jian Wushuang. Even the cemetery of the 9 stars cosmic god has it. The entire wild ancient region, is much larger than the Thousand Gate Star region. It accounts for about 1/10 of the entire Northwest continent. And the number of strong people is more than half of the Northwest continent. Needless to say, the reason is because of the Tomb of the Gods here. Jian Wushuang walked in the void. His figure shrunk to that of the Lord of the Universe, and no one noticed him. Because the Lord of the Universe is all too common here. No one cares who passes by here. But Jian Wushuang kept staring at the continent below. Bless the Tomb of Fire. On a majestic mountain below, there is a dazzling tombstone, which is said to be dazzling, but it is not a white light, but a flash of black light. The writing above is extremely ancient, revealing an indelible breath. The fall of the strong will definitely nourish one side. The nearby cosmic gods even carry this breath. They should be the descendants of this cosmic god. He thought to the bottom of his heart. The deity did not move. An array of thought power fell below. Under the mountain, there are several large cities. These strong men in the city are all aliens to him. Behind them are a pair of retractable wings. Whether it is the Lord of the Universe or the God of the Universe. Jian Wushuang's thought power turned into a clone, only retaining the realm of the Lord of the Universe. And his breath was very thin. And others would only think that he was an alien Lord of the Universe. Walking into the small city that is relatively close to the mountain, not many people paid attention, and they were all busy with their own affairs. In the seemingly mundane city, it is a super city that accommodates hundreds of thousands of universe masters. There are dozens of gods in the universe alone. This is just a city. Before entering the Northwest continent, he only had a rough understanding of the situation here, and only knew that there was a wild ancient domain that was the core. The rest are unknown. This time when the Fazhen comes down, it is to feel the situation. Anyway, the time is almost infinite. He can explore slowly. Just on the way here, he spent millions of epochs, stopping and stopping along the way, and also obtained some strange treasures, but unfortunately it didn't help him in any way. It can be said that he is unable to seize the opportunity to seek divine calamity now, and he can only take one step at a time. Walking to the center of the city, just as he stopped, a well-dressed young man came up. Chapter 62-28. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. This senior, but from other places? The young man has wings behind his back, looks very handsome, and behaves politely, which makes people very comfortable. Jian Wushuang said in surprise. How do you know? There are still a lot of human races here, and the other party can see that he is a foreign powerhouse at a glance. It's very simple. The senior doesn't have the aura of the ancient wilderness, nor the aura of the god of fire, so the junior guesses that the senior is from another place. Oh, Jian Wushuang was suddenly interested. If you talk about this breath, he has really studied it. I didn't find how strange it was. I didn't expect the strong people here to pay attention to this. If the senior doesn't have a place to stay, it's better to come to my Xiang family to rest first. The Xiang family is still somewhat powerful in Jilu City. No matter why the senior came here, I can help. When the young man talked about his family, he was beaming with pride. That's annoying. Jian Wushuang did not refuse, and immediately agreed. Following the young man all the way into the East City, there are deep courtyards with high walls all over the place, and they have an extraordinary bearing, and some super powerhouses live here. But for Jian Wushuang it is much weaker. Even those cosmic gods did not pose any threat to him. That's why he agreed so happily. At the same time, it is also to understand some things in the wild ancient domain. The young man stopped in front of a grand courtyard, stretched out his hand and said, "Senior, please." Stepping into the Xiang mansion, there was a breath of aura that made Jian Wushuang's nose move. That smell is very familiar. I don't know how many years ago I had the honor to smell it. A fishy smell, blood color? Jian Wushuang frowned slightly. He hadn't smelled this smell outside the door, but when he entered the mansion, he immediately noticed it. Fellow Taoist Xiang Yang, the formation in your mansion is really amazing. He pretended to be flattering, wanting to take the opportunity to make a cliché. The Dharma body at this time is just an ordinary lord of the nine tribulations realm universe, with a divine power of only 40 million. Not even a demigod. The same is true of mind power. After all, it is not the deity who is there in person, so he couldn't detect that smell across the yard. In fact, he could let the deity descend to investigate directly, but there was no need for that. When Xiang Yang, the young man who invited him, heard about his own formation, he said excitedly, "Senior really has a good eye. The formation here is arranged by a cosmic himself, and this cosmic is also a cosmic who studies formations. And he was once a disciple of the god of fire. This identity is really scary. I wish the god of fire. It has been fallen for I don't know how many years, because when the world god continent was broken, and the cosmic god fell 7088, now they are all rising stars. There is also the remaining universe god, which really surprised Jian Wushuang. After expressing admiration on the surface, he didn't ask any more questions. Xiang Yang instructed his servants to prepare a dinner party and prepare a reception. Jian Wushuang did not delay either. After visiting the front yard with the other party, he talked about some things near the tomb of the god of fire. As he walked, he listened and nodded frequently, showing a very surprised look. But that's actually the case. This place is backed by Huashan Mountain, which is the tombstone of the god of fire. The god of fire is a 6-star cosmic before the world god continent was broken. No matter it is before the shattering or the new continent, the 6-star universe is a super powerhouse. But compared with Jian Wushuang, it is far worse. Now let alone the 6-star cosmic god, even the 8-star cosmic doesn't care, because his own strength has reached 8 stars. Senior Wushuang, although there are not many cities around Vulcan Mountain, there are many forces. The first is the Zhu family. Needless to say, this is the force that receives the greatest blessing from the god of Zhuhua. This Jian Wushuang is clear. When a cosmic falls, the first thing he will give back is the origin of the world continent, and then the place where he fell. Then there is the expansion of the power of blood. When you are promoted to the god of the universe, you can improve your family blood. And when you fall, you can give back to your family blood. Therefore, the first major force in Vulcan Mountain is the family of the god of fire. Finally, there are the ethnic groups that originally lived near this place. Before the world god continent was broken, this place was the territory of the Feather God clan. I wish the god of fire was born in the Vulcan clan, but married with the Feather God clan. So start in Huashanshan. After the fall, Fuse also gave back to the surrounding Feather God clan powerhouses. That young master Xiang Yang must be a descendant of the Feather God clan. Yes, most of the practitioners living in the Vulcan Mountain are descendants of the Feather God clan. Of course, because the Vulcan Mountain has been open to the outside world in recent years, it has also attracted many foreign powerhouses, such as Senior Wushuang. Xiang Yang's words are very interesting, and the last sentence is obviously what he wants to do with Jian Wushuang. The intentions of the foreign powerhouses to come are very simple, either because of the opportunity on the Vulcan Mountain, or because they ran to the ancient wilderness for refuge. But most of the refugees were the gods of the universe. Most of the strong people like Jian Wushuang, who appear to be the masters of the universe, want to go to Vulcan Mountain. Although Vulcan Mountain is open to the public, it is not anyone who wants to go there. Eligibility is required, and the qualifications are monopolized by the surrounding big families and forces. Going up the mountain with your own strength is simply too difficult. But for Jian Wushuang, there is no difficulty. The key is that he doesn't even look down on this Vulcan Mountain. The reason why the Dharma body came is just to explore the ancient wilderness. He didn't hold back about Xiang Yang's temptation, and directly stated his thoughts. It's the first time I entered the ancient wilderness, and I didn't know anything. I wanted to know more and then find a place to stay. After hearing Jian Wushuang's meaning, Xiang Yang's expression brightened. This is simply a powerhouse delivered to the door. These big families have their own background, but there are still too few strong people from the family, which requires disciples to sit in. Jian Wushuang's strength is not weak, with a divine power of about 40 million. Although he has not reached a demigod, He is considered a top-notch expert in this Julu city. After chatting for a while, the dinner began. In order to receive him, Xiang Yang also gave a lot of face, and specially invited several beautiful women of different races to accompany him. In addition to these beauties, there are also two Nine Tribulation Realm powerhouses, one old and one young, not a member of the Xiang family, but a worshipper of the Xiang family, and they are all strong men under Xiang Yang. During the banquet, they kept bragging about how many benefits they had gained after entering the ancient wilderness. Everything was due to the Xiang family and young Master Xiang Yang. It's just to show off their abilities. Jian Wushuang was familiar with this, but nodded with a smile. Chapter 62-29. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. Senior Wushuang, if you don't dislike it, you can stay in Xiang's house in the future. And even if you need any treasures, feel free to speak up. Although I, Xiang Yang, are nothing in this Julu city, the Xiang family still has some channels. Xiang Yang's rhetoric shows his pride as a member of the Xiang family. The worshippers of the two Xiang Yang next to him also nodded and raised their heads frequently. Jian Wushuang thought it was a bit funny, and he didn't know how to win over people. But it's not so obvious. Besides, he had only known each other for a day. Therefore, there is not too much example, and there is no direct statement of their needs. Xiang Yang was not in a hurry. Seeing that he didn't say anything, he changed the subject and talked about the ancient wilderness. This time Jian Wushuang leaked a strange look. It seems that Senior Wushuang is more curious about the ancient wilderness, so I will tell you my own views and understanding. Xiang Yang paused for a while, then continued. Actually, there are very few resources in the northwest continent. Compared with the major star regions in the central province and the eastern continent, our resources are not in the eyes of the big men. That is, some super strong people who have reached the bottleneck will come here to try their luck. And it is the cemetery of the gods. It sounds like a garbage dump. As soon as these words came out, Jian Wushuang was stunned. He didn't expect that this junior of the Xiang family would dare to say that. The key point is that the other party is just an ordinary lord of the Eight Tribulations realm universe. Moreover, Xiang Yang himself is a local powerhouse in the ancient wilderness. That said, wouldn't it be smashing his own brand? Young Master Xiang, you can't say the same thing. I heard that there are even the tombs of the nine-star universe god in the wild ancient region, and there are countless opportunities left behind. In the eyes of outsiders, this is simply a huge treasure. This is also what Jian Wushuang has inquired about himself, and most people from the outside see it this way. Moreover, there are many super powerhouses in the ancient wilderness, accounting for half of the northwest continent. There is also 1/10 of the entire world god continent. There's no need to be so demeaning, but the next words, let him hear the meaning. Hey, fellow Taoist Wushuang may not have been aware of the situation just now. At this time, the old man next to him spoke slowly and said the reason. It turned out that Xiang Yang belittled the ancient wilderness so much because of the families that inherited the gods of the universe, such as wishing home, relying on the blessings of the god of fire, lead the generation of Vulcan Mountain. Treasures of opportunity belong to other people. All that can be opened is some rubbish. The foreign powerhouses, as well as the local powerhouses, are not looking for treasures in the heap. Hearing this explanation, Jian Wushuang understood. However, as an outsider, he was not too embarrassed to comment, he just frowned and thought. Now it has reached the peak of the Nine Tribulations realm. The basic divine power of this deity has reached 300 million. Relying on the secret method, it can match the nine-star universe god. But the realm has never found a way out. That's why I came to the ancient wilderness, but now I have no way to start. You can't rely on your strength to rush in all the way. Fighting for a while will only make the water cloudy. I became a fish, and I couldn't find the treasure I needed. But he had an inexplicable feeling. Jian Wushuang felt that his chance was in the ancient wilderness. This is also the reason why the deity stays in the void, and the subordinate clone enters the wild ancient domain to find it. Opportunity sometimes does not depend on strength. Just like when he was in the northern time and space. Sometimes strength is not the key factor. But without strength it is absolutely impossible. Now all he has to do is explore slowly. The chance of divine calamity does not happen overnight. Instead, it requires constant advance payment, and even requires him to incarnate as a mortal to find it. Not in a hurry. Jian Wushuang moved in his heart, then greeted him with a smile, and went to learn about the ancient wilderness. The dinner lasted for 2 hours. Then he was arranged to live in a secluded courtyard. From beginning to end, he didn't mention his needs, just said that he wanted to find the hope of a step forward here. This did not lie to the other party. It's just that the divine position he wants to promote is not understandable to outsiders. Xiang Yang nodded silently after knowing this, and didn't say anything more. After saying goodbye, Jian Wushuang was the only one left in the courtyard. The yard is not big, with only a dry well and a peepa tree. There is also a round table under the tree. After a glance, he entered the master bedroom. Opened the door. The furnishings inside are relatively old, but it is spotlessly clean. Snapped. Jian Wushuang snapped his fingers, and a small round ball appeared under the beam. The figure also disappeared in a flash. Appeared again already in a cave. Immediately, he sat down with his knees crossed, and began to plan his own path to God. Originally, I didn't know the specific situation of the ancient wilderness, but now I also know some fur from Xiang Yang's mouth. Naturally, to start the layout, the legal body does not move. The deity has already started. The deity who was in the void suddenly increased his mind power. The originally small figure was instantly transformed into the size of hundreds of millions of miles. The terrifying power directly shook the ancient wilderness. Countless cosmic gods raised their heads one after another, and used their thoughts to sense the void. It was found that there was a majestic figure among them. Suddenly one by one was stunned. This is 9 Stars Universe God. Since the world god continent was shattered, the number of powerhouses has plummeted. In the past there were still many 9-star cosmic gods. But now everyone is a dragon without seeing the end. The entire ancient wilderness dare not say that there is a 9-star universe god. But now it has suddenly come to the void of the ancient wilderness. Inevitably, everyone was stunned and speculated about the intention. The most important thing is identity. Everyone is guessing which god is coming. In the void, Jian Wushuang raised his head. His aura had already changed. Not just the power of the starry sky. It is pure power of disorder. The same power as the beast, but his deity is within the rules. This creates a strange situation. The entire void actually began to flash with thunder, as if competing with Jian Wushuang. Disorder and order will eventually break this bondage. Jian Wushuang said to himself indifferently. The thunder around him seemed to understand, and retreated one after another. Follow the law. But that's all. It is not just talking about it. It's going to go that way eventually. Everything. He opened his mouth softly. A Khonshu. The power of countless things in the calm body converges. A Dharma body appeared, falling from the sky like a shooting star. The deity started to petrify. Starting from the soles of the feet, the gray-white color covers the whole body. It became extremely difficult for Jian Wushuang to move. Eventually completely petrified. Countless Dharma bodies have fallen into various places in the wild and ancient realm. Just now, he was a super powerhouse with 9-star cosmic power, but he instantly became like this. It shocked the many powerhouses who were quietly watching, and some did not realize it. Chapter 6230. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. As soon as it came, it fell. The towering body in the void turned into a stone statue, without any breath and thought power. In an instant, all the powerhouses in the entire ancient wilderness were dumbfounded. They entered the void to check. Looking at the stone statue, I can't see the face. Because Jian Wushuang was wearing a mask beforehand. And without his breath and thought power, naturally no one knew his identity. Soon the news spread throughout the ancient wilderness. It even spread to the entire northwest continent. A mysterious powerhouse descended on the ancient wilderness, and turned into a stone statue to dissipate his power. Countless forces fell into the entire ancient wilderness. Powerhouses who were originally not interested in this place also came one after another, wanting to find out, trying to find the secret of the arrival of the mysterious powerhouse. At one time, countless strong men came. The ancient wilderness is also lively. It was just the power that fell from the mysterious powerhouse, and none of them found it. The strong fall and Fuse falls. As a result, no one got it. This also seems odd. Many strong people have joined the road to find Fuse. Unfortunately, even if they squeezed their heads, they couldn't find these so-called blessings. Because of these powers, they have all condensed into super powerhouses. From strong to weak. There are 2 cosmic gods of the 8 stars. There are 10 of the 7 stars of the universe. There are more than 106 star cosmic gods. These are all clones of Jian Wushuang. At this time, he was hiding in various places, and he was able to recover as long as he thought about it. And those who control the source of these Dharma bodies are hidden in Jilu City. Banning the deity may be the best choice. Jian Wushuang, who was sitting cross-legged in the cave, opened his eyes. At this moment, even the source was banned. His source starry sky has condensed the long river of time and space. Once the calamity is over, it is the level of time and space. It is also the beginning of qualitative change. But if you want to succeed in transcending the calamity, you need a lot of chance and perseverance. His strength is there, but he has no idea of a breakthrough. Banning the deity now is also the best choice. Otherwise, relying on strength to rashly search will only affect one's own judgment. It is better to find your own chance in this wild world with iodine. Jilu City is the beginning. He's just done everything here. There was a call from outside. The arrival also surprised him. It was the young man at the dinner party. He was also a disciple of Xiang Yang. Hearing the summons, Jian Wushuang took the ball and walked out of the courtyard. Pushing open the courtyard door, he saw the other party standing outside the door with frowning furrowed. Brother Tantai, what's wrong? He could also feel that the opponent's divine body was a little unstable, which was obviously caused by the battle. Young Master Xiang Yang has an accident, Tantai said anxiously. I accompanied Master Xiang Yang to the Twilight Plain and met Xu Nie a few days ago. Now I am trapped. I risked my fall to escape. Don't be in a hurry to say it slowly. What do you need me to do? Just say it. Jian Wushuang frowned. This is an opportunity. An opportunity to make the other party owe you favor. Naturally, you will not sit idly by. Oh, in fact, after I escaped, I asked the Xiang family to rescue me. But the Xiang family just randomly sent a master of the universe of the 9 tribulations realm, with a divine power of only 30 million, and it is not as good as me. Young Master Yang. That's why I found Brother Wushuang. Tantai looked a little angry when he finished speaking. After all, Xiang Yang is a child of the Xiang family. Although his strength is only the lord of the 8 tribulations realm universe, he is very talented, and it is not difficult to become a demigod in the future. And this time, he went to the Dusk Plane for a family mission, but now he is desperate for help. Cannot help but let the doorkeeper chill. If they don't save their own family, if something happens to them in the future, I'm afraid they won't be able to save them. After Jian Wushuang understood it clearly, he immediately said, I'll be with you, leave now. Then thank you, Brother Wushuang. Tantai didn't expect him to be so happy, and his eyes leaked admiration. After all, he and Xiang Yang were just casual acquaintances. If it's someone else, just pat thee and just walk away at this time. Nobody will say anything. When something happened to the children of the Xiang family did not save them, and it was absurd to ask an outsider to save them. There is something strange about it. If it was at the beginning, Jian Wushuang would definitely have run away. But it's different now. He has countless clones, and if one dies, there will be another. So there is plenty of confidence to explore. The two were not talking nonsense, and immediately found a few strong people who had a good relationship with Xiang Yang, and left Xiang Mansion together. After leaving Jilu City, Tantai took out a bamboo leaf. When the leaves blow with the wind, they instantly become thousands of feet in size. A flat boat was formed. This is a green bamboo boat, a semi-artifact. At the dinner, Tantai boasted that Xiangyang bought it for him from a special channel, and the price was so cheap that ordinary people couldn't buy it at all. The speed is also very fast. It is similar to the pyramid of Jian Wushuang at the beginning, but not as good as the artifact shield. It's a pity that Jian Wushuang gave that treasure to Wuxia. Now this Dharma body has only a few ordinary treasures. The beast god soldier and the sword of myriad tribulations are both banned in this deity. Even his strongest Dharma body did not wear the key treasure. However, the strength of his clone is almost enough in Jilu City. The basic divine power is 40 million. Although there are no beast soldiers and swords of 10,000 tribulations, his secret technique is still there. And there are several artifacts for demigods. Even if the universe came, he would not be his opponent. The flying boat flew away. In Jilu City, there are a pair of eyes staring at them all the time. When they walked out of the house, they watched. Jian Wushuang also felt those eyes. Interesting. A universe is so concerned about Xiangyang. It seems that things on the dusk plane are not easy. His heart moved, and taking advantage of the opportunity to hurry, he chatted with Tantai. By the way, I asked something about the dusk planes. The several masters of the universe who were recruited next to each other also talked about their own ideas and ways to rescue Xiangyang. Dusk Plains. Located in the north of Huashan Mountain, it is a huge grassland. There are not many dangers on the grassland, and the biggest obstacle is the Zhu family. Because there is a special spar on the grassland. This spar is a special product in the entire ancient wilderness. So Zhujia is strictly forbidden to block. If you want to enter, you need the permission of the Zhu family. The reason why Xiangyang was able to go in was because he took over the task of the family. The Xiang family took over the task of the Zhu family. The layers went down, giving them the opportunity to enter the twilight plane. At the beginning it was fine. I dug the spar in the ur pit, and as a result, I dug out the twilight rat hole. A demon rat is nothing, at most a king, but the overwhelming swarm of mice, combined with the mind and the secret technique of talent, is a crisis that can destroy most of the lords of the universe. Xiangyang's team lost the digital master of the universe in an instant. Chapter 6231. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. Later, a formation was constructed, and it was resisted. May be able to resist, the time is limited. Someone needs to go to help. As for the Zhu family, they don't care. They are only responsible for guarding the dusk plane. So Tantai first went back to Xiang's house for help. Only after that, after learning everything, the rest of the people began to discuss countermeasures at random. Jian Wushuang was silent at this time. However, Tantai next to him has been looking at him intentionally or unintentionally. Among them, the strongest divine power is only in the early 40s. Because the stronger ones were taken away by Xiangyang. Tantai himself was injured again, and his strength was not as good as before. The most powerful player on the scene today is Jian Wushuang. Of course, it depends on Jian Wushuang's expression. Brother Tantai, if you follow this method, you will destroy a piece of land. No matter what, you are doing things for the Zhu family. You can't blame us at that time. A master of the universe with a sharp mouth and a long mouth rhetorically. His method is very simple. That is, use divine fire to drive away the mice, find a way, and rescue Xiangyang. At this time, the several cosmos masters who were drawn over also all agreed. After all, there is no need to take risks, just drive them away. This is good for them. That is, if they hurt the enemy, they will lose 800. Fortunately, the one who loses is the Zhu family. I agree with Brother Shang's plan. Even if the Zhu family is to blame, isn't there still the Xiang family? Tantai glanced at everyone with a slightly embarrassed expression. He was actually very concerned about Zhang Tong's plan. But when he got into trouble, he became the mastermind. It is not realistic to ask the Xiang family to give them the bottom line. Because this time, it is the Xiang family's children who are trapped. And they are also the children of the third family. The Xiang family can be perfunctory in such matters. They may not be perfunctory, and they are directly thrown to the Zhu family to make amends. At that time, he was the mastermind who was hit first. So he hesitated. This time, it directly pushed the problem to Jian Wushuang. Although it was very unkind, there was no other way. Brother Wushuang, you are the strongest in this operation. Why don't you make a decision and see if there is a better way? Tantai's tone was a little apprehensive. This time Jian Wushuang was able to come, and it had already given Xiang Yang a lot of face. Now to push this problem to the other side, it is simply too deceiving. Who is Jian Wushuang? I have seen the wind and waves, how can I not see it? If it was before, it would not be surprising to kill these people. But now it is unusually flat, and even said in a gentle tone. Since everyone agrees with arson, let's set it on fire and expel it. I have no objection. After Tantai heard it, he was stunned for a moment. Then he raised his brows, nodded and said, "That's the arrangement. This time I will also thank young Master Xiang Yang for your extra help. These people were really helpful. I didn't look for them when I entered the Twilight Plane to get benefits, and I thought that when something went wrong, I would have to make up for it when Xiang Yang came out." After everyone settled their attention, they quickly rushed to the dusk plain. Leaning over, plain as the name suggests, the twilight of dusk reflected on every grass, and the dewdrops were pale yellow. It seems that the entire grassland has entered its twilight years, and there is no vitality. Instead, it was a pre-autumn despair. Impressions are given to people from the outside in. Vibrant old age? Jian Wushuang saw this scene, his eyelids moved, and he instantly understood the reason. The twilight does not come from the sky. It is probably because there is some kind of power below, absorbing the vitality of all things. A twilight halo falls from the sky. This is actually not difficult to see, as long as a cosmic can detect it. The reason why there is no exploration may be because that power has also brought benefits to them, such as the special blood Lingjing. Just before the flying boat came, a wave of air struck instantly, but it stopped in front of them. There are two figures in the light wave, one tall and the other short. After revealing the real face, there is a fire-shaped pattern on the forehead. The person here is the Zhu family guard who guards the place. Both are demigods. Tantai, it's against the rules for you to bring so many people in. Before they could speak, the other party had an aggressive tone. But Tantai still said with a smile, "Brother Chongling, you also know that the situation inside is complicated. I am also trying to get young Master Xiang Yang out as soon as possible, so that Xue Lingjing can be saved." Speaking of Xue Lingjing, his voice was deliberately elongated. The two brothers of the Zhu family also knew that they were all trying to mine for their own family. When the two brothers left, Tantai's complexion instantly turned cold. Two guys who have lived for an unknown number of years, so greedy and divine power, don't have 50 million waste, so they will bully us. The rest of the people also whispered in hatred when they heard it. Jian Wushuang did not expect that these people were so angry with the people of the Zhu family. In my heart, I was also curious about the Zhu family. This is the first inheritance family he has contacted in the ancient wilderness. A family with the inheritance of the tomb of the gods. Although it is only the inheritance of the six-star cosmic gods, he really wants to use this inheritance to spy on what the previous world continent looked like. Under the splendid cultivation civilization, there are too many hidden stories. Just like the twilight plains in front of you, it used to be a place full of vitality, but in a twinkling of an eye it has reached its twilight years. The flying boat entered the twilight plain, and after traveling again for several hours, it had reached the depths of the plain. There are many huge deep pits on the ground here. They are all mines that have been mined. It's here. Tantai's face was solemn. Everyone looked up and looked into the distance. A huge formation stood in front of them, and the surrounding area was dark. After a closer look, they found that they were all demon rats. The number can no longer be estimated. It can only be said that within hundreds of millions of miles around, there are demon rats all over the body. There are also millions of pillars, which are piled up by rats. Above the pillars are golden demon rats. All are the lords of the universe. In other words, There are millions of demon rats at the master level of the universe. Seeing this scene, everyone was stunned. They all looked at Tantai and said anxiously, "This is a rat. This is obviously a plague. Even if we are demigods, we can't catch young Master Xiangyang." "I don't know either, but it wasn't that big when I left." Tantai panicked. He didn't lie. If it's really this scale, he can't figure it out. Now that everyone has come, there is no reason to go back. You can only grit your teeth and start working according to the original plan. Tantai took the lead and turned divine power into fire. This is the secret method of the practitioners around the Vulcan Mountain. Just use Qianhua. Ordinary Shenhua is also difficult to drive away those demon rats at the master level of the universe. Everyone nodded and shot. Immediately, the divine fire descended from the sky, and the colorful flames swept from the edge to the center of the mouse group at a very fast speed. Because there is a wind-shaped universe master behind him. Chapter 6232. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. The strong wind swept over, and the smell of burning was very pungent. "Quick, rush in with me." The flame burned a hole, and Tantai's eyes and hands were quick, and he immediately controlled the flying boat to rush in. Below a charred line, there are countless corpses, and the rats on both sides are constantly approaching. Encountering Shenhua is only half a step back, but 1 step further. As if not afraid of death at all. Roar! Just as they rushed in, a roar came from the depths. This cry made everyone stunned. It's the Rat King, with a divine power of at least 30 million. Tantai soon made a judgment. It's nothing to say that a Rat King alone, they can kill one person at will. But a Rat King with a divine power of 30 million, the rat population that can be manipulated is too large. Go away, Shenhua can't drive it away at all. Some people have already started to retreat. If they rush forward, the road behind will disappear. When they can't go back, they will all be consumed to death. Tantai gritted his teeth. Although he really wanted to save people, he couldn't drag so many people to death. Withdraw! Finally, he gritted his teeth and withdrew. After escaping from the rats, Tantai's expression was very embarrassing. It makes sense that he could be valued by Xiangyang and even surrender his life. At this moment, Tantai stared at the strong man the Xiang family sent to rescue. A new master of the 9 Tribulations realm universe, with a divine power of 30 million. Brother Tantai, it's not that I can't do anything, but you can see the situation. I really can't do anything. That's not what I said. Why did the elders of the 3rd room ask you to come? Didn't they give you some treasures? Tantai was very anxious at this moment and said everything. No, absolutely not. Elder Qi just ordered me to rescue young Master Xiangyang, and didn't give me any treasure at all. Tantai's face froze, the corners of his mouth rose, and he sneered. No? If I didn't give you any treasures, wouldn't it mean that you should be buried with young Master Xiangyang? Alright, you can go in now. This sentence shocked the other party, and his face suddenly turned pale. The few people next to him were all good friends with Xiangyang, and they were all staring at that person fiercely at this time. No way. They dare not put their anger on Elder Qi. Although Jian Wushuang's performance was calm, he was also very curious about what the family thought, and he didn't save anyone. If this plague was an accident, then it was intentional to let a new master of the universe of the 9 Tribulations come to the rescue. This is either a family infighting, or there is an unknown conspiracy. It is definitely not to calculate the Lord of the Universe in the 8 Tribulations realm. The bigger reason may be the place under their feet. Dusk Plains. Blood Lingjing was born. A product left behind after the world god continent was broken. It is of great help to practitioners. There are many places where blood-colored Lingjing can be born in the entire ancient wilderness, but they are all controlled by some big families. Just as the swords were drawn, the surrounding rat group suddenly rioted. This is a general attack. Tantai's face was startled. This is really over. Can't get in. Jian Wushuang raised his eyes and looked at it, and he had a countermeasure in his heart. It's not easy for him to shoot directly now, But don't forget. Now the entire ancient wilderness has his Dharma body. Just a heartbeat. A dazzling light came from the sky, like a shooting star. The light was extremely dazzling, and it reached the top of the twilight plain in an instant. This shocked the strong Zhu family who originally guarded this place. In particular, which cosmic god rushed out directly. Who is here? Dare to break into the place where I wish my home. The visitor wore a wooden mask with a blue pattern and a wide hat, so he couldn't see his face clearly. But the divine sword in his hand was bursting with blue aura. Don't panic, fellow Taoist, I'm just here to save one person. The sword-wielding man returned his life indifferently, and in a flash, he rushed towards the group of mice. Everyone who had given up was stunned when they saw the mysterious powerhouse coming. Then I saw that the mysterious man with the sword entered the rat group in an instant, with the divine sword in his hand expressing the meaning of the sword, and countless sword shadows cut off the sacred pillars that were made by an unknown number of rats. The plague, which originally made the Lord of the universe, and even the demigods helpless, was shattered in less than a stick of incense. Together with the Rat King, they were beheaded. It's terrifying. Tantai looked at the figure with admiration and envy in his eyes. With a sword in hand, cut everything. The ultimate dream of all swordsmen. Whoa! The sword-wielding man stood proudly in the sky, and countless corpses landed behind him. The corpses are all broken. All those demon rats that were beheaded. This scene is like a scene, but the people watching all took a deep breath. In the middle of the group of rats, there is a broken formation. In the center of the formation, the young man headed was very embarrassed. After sorting out his face, he still had a calm tone. Thank you, senior, for saving your life. Xiangyang will definitely be unforgettable. This person is the trapped Xiangyang. He never imagined that a cosmic would come to rescue him. Previously, the formation had blocked everything, and Tantai could not be contacted. The key point is that he has not heard of the universe, who has swords in the family. At this time, I was confused, but I couldn't help being excited when I was able to escape from death. Because this time his receipt was huge. As long as you return to the family, it must be a great achievement, and the 9 tribulations realm is also expected. This is the chance seized and soared into the sky. I'm not here to save you, but to save him. The man with the sword pointed a finger, and a corpse in the center of the formation floated up, looking at the corpse with a pair of eyes flashing red. At this time, Tantai and others also flew over, and they did not dare to go forward when they saw this scene. After a while, the cosmic of Zhu's family also descended. After seeing this scene, there was no rush to speak. After a long pause, the sword-wielding man said sadly, I told you not to come, but you have to come. After speaking, he shook his head reluctantly. Jian Wushuang in the crowd raised the corners of his mouth slightly, admiring his acting skills. The sword-wielding man above is one of his Dharma bodies. Samsung Universe God. The peak combat power is quasi 4-star. It is the strongest Dharma body near Vulcan Mountain. There are also several Dharma bodies, and they also took the opportunity to recover at this moment. And it has quietly entered the major cities near Vulcan Mountain. The chessboard also started to move at this moment. Jian Wushuang's Dharma body first took a moment of silence, then collected the corpse, and then looked at the cosmic of the Zhu family, with apologetic expression in his eyes, and said, Taoist friend, I've been disturbed this time. If you want to punish me, I will admit it. As soon as these words came out, Zhujia Cosmic God complained, everyone is a Samsung Cosmic God, and the face can be said to be enough for the other party. Chapter 6233. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. Naturally, it was impossible to blame, and he even comforted Jian Wushuang's clone quickly. The 2 cosmic gods naturally would not pay attention to the cosmic master below, and after a few words, the cosmic of the Zhu family began to win over Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang looked at Xiangyang and the others below and sighed. In the end, he left with the Zhu family god of the universe. Just leave and come to Dusk Plains. As for the law body of the Lord of the Universe, it was inserted into the Xiang family. Through this rescue operation, Xiang Yang had a great impression of this newly accepted guest. In addition, he has made great contributions this time. He has just returned to the family. He first retreated for 3 years, and successfully crossed the robbery, and became the master of the universe in the 9 tribulations realm. After that there was a big feast, a small gathering for 3 days, and a big gathering for 5 days. Constantly win over Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang also expressed some of his needs during the banquet. Otherwise it would be too obvious. No desire and no desire. The other party is not a woman. Who would be so desperate? The relationship is a step closer. But Jian Wushuang in the Xiang family has not made substantial progress. For example, the last time in the Twilight Plane, he still hadn't found out the reason. On the contrary, he saw the real blood-colored Ling Jing from Xiangyang. This is faster than the cosmic god Dharma body going to Zhu's house. On the Zhu family's side, the benefits have not been obtained, but the knowledge has improved a lot. After all, the Zhu family is also a big power in a big family. Inheritance families all have the accumulation of inheritance from generation to generation, and no more secrets. For example, the wild ancient domain on the description, 1 emperor, 3 saints, 5 deities and 10 kings, corresponds to the tomb of the barbarian emperor in the ancient wilderness. 3 holy tombs, 5 temples, the palace of 10 kings. This was the most powerful group of powerhouses before the world god continent was broken. The barbarian emperor, an existence that can easily kill the 9-star universe god. The 3 saints are all 9-star upper gods. It exceeds the ordinary 9-star cosmic by a large margin, and can easily crush the existence of the ordinary 9-star cosmic god. Each of the 5 statues is the pinnacle 9-star universe god. The 10 kings are also extraordinary. There are so many 9-star cosmic gods with names and surnames alone. One can imagine how brilliant the world god continent was back then. Under the bright side, there is a bigger legend of the ancient wilderness. The first and second legend is actually related to Jian Wushuang. That is the statue in the recent void, the stone statue that his deity turned into. Now it has become the object of all the universe gods to explore. Jian Wushuang also smiled at this, and did not discuss it in detail. Could he not know about the deity himself? Those daring cosmic gods are now standing on his shoulders, ready to pry open the divine body to study his deity. He doesn't care much about this. The deity's divine power is almost unlimited, and it's nothing to be taken away. The most important thing is the current layout. He wants to search the entire ancient wilderness in a carpet-like manner, not letting go of a single corner. In addition to the strange things that have been encountered, there are all rumors, and we must find out. The current 2 lines. The Zhu family is on the Twilight Plane, and the Xiang family is that familiar atmosphere. All need to be investigated. In the blink of an eye, it has been 100,000 years lurking in the ancient wilderness. Jilu City. Item home. Jian Wushuang was drinking tea leisurely in the small courtyard as usual. There was a hurried shout from outside the door. This time it was Tantai. Since the last incident, he and Tantai have become Xiang Yang's right-hand man. And the benefits of following Xiang Yang over the years have really gained a lot. As soon as there is something good, I will take the 2 of them with me. Tantai's strength has also grown by leaps and bounds, and now it is almost a demigod. In just 100,000 years, the divine power has increased by 5 million. Now it's 45 million. Jian Wushuang's Dharma body has also improved a lot, but the corresponding deity seems to be a little vague. Enter. Because he was more familiar with the other party, he didn't get up either, still drinking tea. Tantai, who entered the small courtyard, seemed a little anxious, walked up to him and said in surprise, I said, Wushuang brother, why are you still in the mood to drink tea? Young Master Xiangyang has a big problem. Inheritance tasks, in fact, is to follow the set of those inheritance families. The ancestor of the Xiang family is a 3-star universe god. However, it has long since fallen. At this time, a 2-star universe controls the family. The inheritance left by the ancestors will also be distributed to each direct descendant. but they need to complete the task before they can get it. And the task is divided into several rounds. Xiangyang has completed the 4th round of the 9 Tribulations realm. It is said that the inheritance obtained is enough, but the human heart is always not satisfied, and he has to refer to the task of the 5th round. The opponent this time can be said to be the most elite wave of the 9 Tribulation Realm Universe Master in the entire Xiang family. The task is naturally difficult, and this time Xiangyang was assigned the most difficult one. You need to go to the Dusk Plains to find the Rat King's lair. Tantai shudders when he thinks of everything he experienced in the Dusk Plain, not to mention Xiangyang, who almost died inside. So anxious. After Jian Wushuang heard the passage, he took a deep breath. Isn't the Rat King beheaded? Why is there such a task? Tantai sighed and said, the Rat Emperor was beheaded by the previous senior, but a new Rat Emperor is born again. It may not be as strong as the last time, but it won't be too weak, and he is still looking for a nest to kill the rat. Emperor, the mission this time is more than 10 times more dangerous than the last crisis. Don't you think this is going to die? Really impulsive. Jian Wushuang also sat up from the chair. This Dharma body managed to sneak into the side of the famous Xiang family. But Xiangyang couldn't be finished just like that. Originally, he had persuaded Xiangyang not to be so rash. The 4th round of inheritance is already a first-class arrogance. When the demigods are still eligible to enter the clan, it is enough for him. If you really want to fight, it's time to fight for God's tribulation. At this time, he wasn't even a demigod, and no matter how hard he fought, he wouldn't be able to get much resources. Why work so hard? But now that the tasks have been accepted, he has no choice but to help this young master Xiangyang to plan. Follow Tantai to Xiangyang's courtyard. At this time a lot of people have gathered here. In addition to a few familiar guests, also has Xiangyang's mother and his eldest brother. Before entering the main house, Nian heard a strong rant. Xiangyang, do you know what you are doing? The speaker is Xiangyang's eldest brother Project. His strength is much stronger than Xiangyang, and he is already a demigod with a divine power of 60 million. At first it was only the 4th round of tasks. It's actually pretty good that his younger brother can keep up with him. There are not many Tianjiao in the 3rd room, and Xiangyang's achievements have already been able to stand in the 3rd room, so there is no need to fight so hard. In the 5th round of tasks, those who can pass are the number 1 talents in each room, and too many have fallen. Chapter 6234. Genius to remember the address of this site in 1 second. https:// the fastest update. No ads. Xiangyang stood aside, but there was absolute tenacity in his eyes. Hee, don't worry. I will be responsible for the burden I take over to the end. It's not like someone is irresponsible. Younger, you are not allowed to say that about your brother. Xiangyang's mother scolded angrily, but Xiangyang didn't listen at all, and rushed out the door. When he walked out of the room and saw many guests in the courtyard, he slowly turned his head and said coldly, Project, do you know why no one is following you? It's because you are selfish. After speaking, he left the courtyard with everyone without looking back. Inside the Xiang family, not to mention the whole, it is said that Xiangyang of the 3rd room is not in harmony with the 2 brothers in the project. This made Jian Wushuang feel a little ridiculous. In fact, the 2 brothers have no deep hatred. It's just that I fell in love with a girl at the same time when I was young. Because of this trivial matter, Xiangyang has been comparing himself with his big brother. After the project has passed the 4th round of the inheritance task, he will pass the 5th round, and it is bound to be higher. Although it seems very naive, his determination is also quite admired by Jian Wushuang. Just because he is angry, he can risk his life, and he is also a ruthless person. With Xiangyang's departure, the courtyard instantly quieted down. The project clenched his fists and never retorted. The clenched fist pierced the palm, and red blood flowed from the fingers. Why don't you tell your brother about it? You don't have to carry it all the time. No. Project shook his head, looked at his mother lost and said, I've already fallen into it. I can't let Xiangyang fall in too. or the third room will be over. There is a lot hidden in the conversation between the two, but Xiang Yang doesn't know anything about it. Xiang Yang, who left Xiang Mansion in a fit of anger, led people out of Julu City directly, or take the green bamboo flying boat in Tantai, heading towards the Twilight Plain. On the road, Xiang Yang stood on the bow without saying a word, staring blankly at the horizon. After a silent reminiscence, he turned to look at the people who followed. Fellow Taoists, this time entering the Twilight Plain is very dangerous. I don't want to take you on an adventure. If you want to leave, you can leave at any time. You don't have to follow me to take risks. Xiang Yang's eyes were sincere. Tantai stood up immediately and said generously, Young Master Xiang Yang, without your care for all these years, how could we cultivators from outsiders have such gains in Julu City? And now that you are in trouble, how can we not help? That's right, ask yourself, without young Master Xiang Yang, how could our strength grow by leaps and bounds? Jian Wushuang also took the opportunity to say something. The two of them were Xiang Yang's right-hand man, and they hadn't left half a step for 100,000 years. Saying this now is obviously trying to win over people. There were still a few people who wanted to leave, but after hearing these words, they all gave up their thoughts. Risk and reward are directly proportional. Following Xiang Yang may be much better than investing in other families. After all, they have been with him for so many years, and if they leave now, it will take a long time to invest. Those big families in the ancient wilderness, the most important thing is qualifications. Had to make them think about the pros and cons. Practitioners are like that. To fight alone, you also have to have the confidence and strength. Otherwise, we can only rely on those big families to make a living. After a while, everyone expressed their loyalty and decided to accompany Xiang Yang into the Twilight Plain. Xiang Yang was very happy about this. After taking a deep look at Jian Wushuang and Tantai, he turned his head and stood on the flying boat, his eyes jumping into the distance. But he didn't know that this time to the Twilight Plain, the crisis was so great that it was beyond the scope of the Lord of the Universe. As Xiang Yang entered the Twilight Plain, the Xiang family also sent several demigods to the Twilight Plain on this day. And among these people there is also a cold woman from an alien race. She has no breath, but has a unique temperament. If Jian Wushuang sees it, he will definitely be shocked. The woman in front of him actually has the breath of Wanlu Shenmu. This was also the familiar aura he noticed when he entered the Xiang family. The speed of the alien woman's side was very fast, and several households pressed Xiang Yang's heels and entered the Twilight Plain. But the goals of the two parties are different. Xiang Yang brought people into the faithful of Dusk Plain. He was going to start from those pits and find the mouse den, but there are thousands of large and small mines around, so I don't know how long it will take to find it. Jian Wushuang naturally wouldn't wait for these people to look for it. Although the current Dharma body is only at the level of a demigod, the mind power has inherited the deity. Among all Dharma bodies, his Dharma body is also respected. The powerful mind force can wrap the entire Dusk Plain at will. Such a powerful mind power can only be achieved by a 5-star cosmic god. And there is no 5-star universe in the entire Vulcan Mountain. So it is naturally impossible to detect the expansion of his mind power. Even so, it is not comparable to his deity. The thought power of the deity can directly wrap the entire ancient wilderness. That is the real terror. It's just a drizzle now. After careful exploration, he found a breath of demon rats in a mine. Oh, go to the west to see. Jian Wushuang found a reason and acted alone. Swish. The figure flashed, and after coming to the mine where the demon rat was dense with breath, he looked down at the bottomless pit, condensed a ball of divine power with one hand, and threw it into it. The divine power that shrank white light fell into the mine, and only a moment later came a dull response. But there was no demon rat. Not right. Jian Wushuang immediately became alert. He was able to sense that there was a strong demon rat breath below this place, but he was unable to draw it out. Even if the Rat King didn't move, how could an ordinary demon rat make some movements? But he tried so much without any response. The next moment, a familiar breath came from a distance. He was once fascinated by that breath, and even fought desperately in that breath. Wanliu's breath. Jian Wushuang's brows moved, and he sensed the breath of Wanlu coming from a distance. It was the familiar aura he felt from the Xiang family. And this breath was mixed with a demonic aura at this time. You don't have to guess to know, it must be a demon rat. He understood in an instant. No wonder there is no movement in the rat's den. It turns out that those demon rats are dealing with that person. However, this incident seemed too coincidental to him. The last time a group of rats besieged Xiangyang and others was very strange. And looking at the attitude of the third room, it is obvious that they want to protect Xiangyang. But last time they saw death. There are contradictions before and after. Obviously, someone deliberately calculated Xiangyang, and it was able to make the powerhouse of the third house dare not intervene. Behind this is definitely the meaning of the senior members of the Xiang family. Now Xiangyang has just received the 5th round of inheritance tasks, and he has met the Xiang family again. And it's that familiar scent. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly, as if he could see through the other party's plan. With a finger, a big movement was made directly. Chapter 6235. Chapter 6235. Zhu's actions. It immediately attracted the attention of Xiangyang and others, and they rushed over. Brother Wushuang but found a mouse hole? Xiangyang bore the brunt and flew over. Jian Wushuang pointed below, pretending to be excited. If you find it, it will be below. At this time, the mine cave below was smashed into a large hole, and countless small caves flowed out. Those caves are tunnels made by demon rats. The densely packed large area eventually leads to the underground abyss. Kindness? Why didn't those demon rats come out? There's no cheating. Tantai looked a little worried. Xiangyang, like a stunned young man, discovered the cave, so he didn't care so much. In his opinion, with so many people going in together, there is nothing to worry about. Maybe he was lucky, those demon rats all went out. This time he was really lucky. The demon rats have gone to block the alien woman. At this time, in the nest, only the queen mouse and a normal-sized group of mice were left. It's the critical moment to get in. But one thing is not good for them, because once the nest is attacked, the demon rats will definitely come back. When they went in at this time, it was more like helping people out of the siege. There is a bit of meaning to surround Wei and save Zhao. But Jian Wushuang doesn't care about that. And now he just wants to see what kind of person the person with Wanli's breath is. After Wanlu Shenmu was taken away, it should have returned to the starry sky, and it was impossible to appear in the world continent. Then there is only one possibility, the secret method of the other party's cultivation, or the treasure under his control, may be related to Wanlu Shenmu. This discovery is actually a small chance. It may be of some use to the universal God, but it is of little use to him. After 100,000 years of dormancy, he encountered this opportunity, and his luck was not too bad. The future is still very long. 100,000 eras may be able to meet the opportunity that he is interested in. Thousands of opportunities. Maybe you will be able to encounter opportunities that can help him. So he wasn't in a hurry at all. Over the years, not only his clone is moving, but a large number of clones have sneaked into the major inheritance families. Or they have established their own forces that spread throughout the ancient wilderness. It won't take long for the entire ancient wilderness to be turned upside down. At this time, when he followed Xiangyang into the Mouse's cave, there are also new discoveries in the Zhu family. Vulcan Mountain, in the cave of the ancestors of the Zhu family. At this time, digital universe gods gathered. Among them was the Cosmic who had invited Jian Wushuang into Zhu's house. And he was also a super powerful man in the Twilight Plane. The Xiang family has endured for so many years, it seems that they can't bear it anymore. On the throne of the cave, the only sitting red-haired old man stood up slowly, with a terrifying aura, a genuine 4-star cosmic god. He watched everything. The gods below were extremely silent, and no one dared to speak. Twilight Plane. The thing that the alien girl is staring at is in the Twilight Plane. You take everyone to the outskirts of the Twilight Plane. Don't scare the snake first. Just wait for her to come out. And it to Vulcan Mountain. After the order was issued, The cosmic gods of the Zhu family below dared to speak. Yes, old man. The ancestor of the Zhu family slowly raised his hand and said indifferently, "Go down and prepare." They came and walked very quickly. After leaving the cave, the 5 three-star universe gods of the Zhu family, who were quite capable, began to gather their subordinates and act separately. Fuhai, the Twilight Plane is your territory. You are responsible for watching over there. As for the Xiang family and Julu City, I will take care of it. Second brother, don't worry, I'll take someone to the Dusk Plane. Fuhai was very confident and left immediately. Immediately notify all the strong men under his command. To be on the safe side, he also contacted Jian Wushuang. In fact, he was not at ease with the disciple whom he had drawn over 100,000 years ago, because Jian Wushuang hadn't gone out for a few years, and had been comprehending the Vulcan tombstone on Vulcan Mountain. I didn't want to be called Jian Wushuang at first, but Jian Wushuang has not done anything for these years, and has been comprehending the Vulcan tombstone of their Zhu family. But I don't know, this is right in Jian Wushuang's arms. Follow the gods of the Zhu family down the mountain. A storm also swept across Huashan Mountain. Both of Jian Wushuang's clones are in it. The weak are in the Xiang family, and the powerful are in the Zhu family. No matter who wins, it doesn't affect him much. On the Twilight Plane, Jian Wushuang's master of the universe, the Dharma body, went deep into the rat's lair and was destroying everywhere. In particular, Tantai almost fell because of the last rat tide. And this time it was very hard to destroy the rat cave. The same is true for Xiangyang. It may also be because there are not many demon rats in the rat cave. Everyone is very relaxed, and even has not much precaution. Jian Wushuang's heart was still hanging, especially knowing that Zhu's family has begun to take action against the Xiang family. He felt that this time the chance might rise up the ranks. Originally thought it would be dormant in Vulcan Mountain for a long time. I am afraid this time will be shortened. Just as they wantonly destroyed the rat's lair, a black mist emerged from the ground. The fog engulfed those demon rats in an instant. A sense of unease also grew in the hearts of everyone. What is that? Tantai pointed at the black mist below, his eyes widened. Jian Wushuang is well informed and recognized at a glance. Death, everyone be careful. Use your thoughts to shield the divine body. When everyone heard the words, they quickly wrapped their bodies with thought power and held their breaths. The death energy rushed out from the ground continuously, and Jian Wushuang was a little shocked when he saw it. How many people have to fall to condense such a huge amount of death? His heart moved, thinking of the original death. Although the death energy here can't be compared with the death energy, but so much death energy can be born. Even if all the life in the northern time and space are sacrificed to blood, it will not produce such a large death energy. There is only one possibility, and that is when the death chi originated from the time when the world god continent was broken. This made Jian Wushuang have a strong interest. Death chi appeared from the ground, so there might be a huge world underground. Maybe it was a mass grave at the beginning, or maybe it was the death of a world that produced such a great death energy. The vitality of the Twilight Plane is probably not absorbed, but disturbed by death. Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang ignored the others and rushed towards the ground. He wanted to go in and explore. Seeing him rush in, Xiangyang quickly reminded loudly, "Brother Wushuang, don't be rash, there may be danger below." Jian Wushuang didn't care about it at all, and went straight to the exit of death. Pushing aside the black fog with both hands, a hole appeared in front of him. Sure enough, there is a big world hidden below. Jian Wu's eyes leaked joy. The big world that can be hidden is absolutely extraordinary. Although the most powerful universe near Vulcan Mountain is only a 4-star combat power. But after countless years, there must be super powerhouses who have stayed here. Maybe it is a 6-star or 7-star universe god. 4229/10547053. Chapter 6236. Chapter 6236 Death Chi Recovery. Even they didn't discover that there is a big world hidden here. So the background of this big world is definitely not ordinary. Maybe even bigger than the entire ancient wilderness. When he moved his mind power, He first used his mind power to cast it into the big world below, and the law body turned back again. The strength of this Dharma body is too weak, and there will not be too many receipts. And the entrance is here. He doesn't have to worry, he can let a more powerful Dharma body go to investigate. The 6-star Dharma body closest to Vulcan Mountain takes 4 hours. Jian Wushuang frowned slightly, almost enough. The premise is that his Samsung Cosmic God Dharma body can hold back the Zhu family. Brother Wushuang, you scared me just now. Tantai let out a sigh of relief after seeing him turn back again. Jian Wushuang waved his hand and said indifferently, I'm just curious, I want to go and see. Curious? Everyone was puzzled. This is a matter of life. Just because of curiosity, you have to take a look? Being in the death energy will wear down the vitality, and it is possible to fall on the spot in a serious situation. And they can all see that Jian Wushuang's divine power has dropped a lot, because the death energy just eroded the divine power. But Jian Wushuang was very indifferent, which was somewhat unreasonable. Although Xiang Yang was a little skeptical, he didn't ask too much, so he changed the subject and said, Everyone, the mutation of the mouse hole has exceeded our control, and it's time to leave now. That's right, the discovery of the Death Chi Cave may be a great achievement. This time, when young Master Xiang Yang returns, he will definitely be rewarded by the family. In the face of touts, Xiang Yang was not proud, but was a little scared at this time. It may also be due to hindsight. When he was about to leave, Xiang Yang found that Jian Wushuang had not moved, and he stopped because he didn't want to leave. Brother Wushuang, what's wrong with you? Jian Wushuang stood there, looked at everyone, and said indifferently, Young Master Xiang Yang, you'd better not leave this place now. Because the Xiang family in Jilu City is gone. The Twilight Plain was also surrounded by the strong Zhu family. When they leave at this time, there is only one dead end. After 100,000 years, Jian Wushuang also realized that although this Yang came from a big family, he had no pretense to ordinary practitioners, and had a good personality. Now that the time has come to part, you can pull as much as you can. After Xiang Yang heard it, he didn't know why, and frowned and said, Is it possible you want to stop me? Originally, I was a little suspicious of Jian Wushuang's surprise, but now I heard the other side's slightly threatening words, and naturally I was not to be outdone. Jian Wushuang was a little helpless, so he could only make up a lie, saying that he had a companion in the Zhu family, and just now Jilu City had been captured by the Zhu family, and all the strong Xiang family were executed. Hearing this news, everyone laughed, because they don't believe it at all. A day ago it was fine. How could it be said that it was gone? This time, Xiang Yang listened to it and quickly contacted his mother, but found that it had been isolated. This made him panic. I tried to get in touch with my father and some elders in the family, but I couldn't get in touch. At this time Jian Wushuang said again, You might as well contact which Elder Qi. Xiang Yang immediately contacted Elder Qi of the third room, as if he had grabbed a life-saving straw. The rest of the people also saw that something was wrong at this time, and they all closed their mouths with serious expressions on their faces. They are all on the same boat at this time, and if the Xiang family is finished, they will not be able to escape. Elder Qi, what happened? Why can't I contact the people in Jilu City? Xiang Yang almost communicated to the other party with a roaring voice. After a while, Elder Kai's deep voice came from the communication token. Xiang Yang, is there a Death Chi cave in the Mouse's cave? Tell me the location. Elder Kai's tone was also very anxious. Xiang Yang had 10,000 questions in his heart that he wanted to ask, but after hearing Elder Kai's voice, he suppressed them all. Now he wanted to ask more clearly in person, so he stated his position. Just after finishing speaking, a space-time crack appeared in the sky above the Mouse's lair. Then a group of people walked out. The head is an alien woman wearing a mask. When she appeared, Xiang Yang's eyes widened. It's you. He couldn't believe it. The woman who should have fallen in front of him was still alive. Although the other party is wearing a mask, they can still be recognized at a glance. The alien woman didn't even look at him, and went straight to the exit of death. Elder Qi followed behind, also ignoring Xiang Yang. At this time, Xiang Yang has been shattered by what happened on this day. Jian Wushuang sighed, stepped forward and patted the other party's shoulder, comforting. There are some things I still don't know. The most important thing now is to survive. Follow me later. But after saying this, he walked towards the top-ranked mine himself. Xiang Yang was also stunned for a moment, and felt more and more that Jian Wushuang was too mysterious. Even Tantai on the side asked, "Young Master Xiang Yang, why don't we follow Wushuang?" But as soon as he finished saying this, Jian Wushuang, who had just left, sent a voice transmission to tell the two to wait there. Following his Dharma body is to die. What they want to follow is another Dharma body. At this moment above the twilight plain, a large number of strong Zhu family gathered. Among them is Jian Wushuang's legal body. No, wait, go in and search for people. All the Xiang family members will be beheaded. Remember that it is all the Xiang family members, not all the Xiang family members. Yes, many strong men answered in unison, shocking the world. Jian Wushuang's voice was also mixed in. But the most obvious thing is that there is a small alien boy in the team, and he has light blue skin. It was another Dharma body that Jian Wushuang came. 6-star cosmic combat power. Enough to sweep the entire Vulcan mountain. After the team entered the plain, they dispersed. This also gave Jian Wushuang the opportunity to gather the 3 clones. He wasn't in a hurry to reveal his identity. Swish! 3 figures appeared above the mine. Taking the law body of the Lord of the Universe as the main body, he controls everything. I can finally open that hole and see what's hidden underneath. Jian Wushuang waited until the reinforcements arrived and rushed directly towards the cave below. The 2 super Dharma bodies said the location of this place and invited the strong of the Zhu family to come. A big drama is about to start. Inside the mouse hole, after seeing Jian Wushuang's Dharma body returning from the new, Xiang Yang seemed to have grasped the source of everything and wanted to know the situation of the family from Jian Wushuang. Jian Wushuang just shook his head slightly. The house is gone. Now is not the time for nostalgia. You should consider whether you can survive or not. Moreover, the Xiang family repeatedly calculated their own clan. Let Xiang Yang, the big fool, take the lead to attract firepower. It's gone, it's gone. If it wasn't for the appearance of his Dharma body last time, Xiang Yang would have died long ago. There is nothing to remember about this family. Chapter 6237. Chapter 6237. Mysterious World with the Sword of Death Qi. Wushuang reached the edge of the hole again. At this moment, there are several Xiang family powerhouses brought by women of different races gathered next to them. And they all said nothing. All under control? Jian Wushuang was a little surprised. He didn't expect that the alien woman had this hand, and he didn't notice it before. Throw him in. But before he could speak, the alien woman pointed her finger at herself. Yes. After hearing the instructions of the alien woman, Elder Qi prepared to attack Jian Wushuang without any hesitation. No, I'll go in by myself. He knew that the other party wanted to throw him in to see what was going on inside. From this, it can also be seen that the strength of the alien woman is not strong. Otherwise she would have gone in long ago. Why should she wait and see? Obviously she is not sure what is hidden under the cave. When the alien woman heard his cooperation, her eyes were filled with surprise. Looking at Jian Wushuang through the hole in the mask, she seemed to feel a familiar aura and wanted to take back what she just said. Unexpectedly, Jian Wushuang jumped directly into the cave. Whoa! Through death, Jian Wushuang completely entered the cave. In the dead air, it is extremely messy. A loud roar made him look moved. Sure enough, this big world still has life. Satisfied with this, he moved his thoughts. The 2 Dharma bodies that were originally guarding the top of the mine rushed down at the same time. Entering the Mouse's cave, Xiang Yang was startled at first. He only knew one of them, Jian Wushuang's Samsung Cosmic God Dharma body. At that time, the shocking swordsmanship, looking at his longing. Seeing the same again now. But before he had time to talk to him, he went straight to the death cave below. The alien woman at the entrance of the cave was shocked when she saw it, thinking that the strong man of the Zhu family had discovered this place and was about to take action in a hurry, but found that the other party ignored her at all and entered the cave directly. Swish. When it reappears, it has already entered it. I can't keep this Dharma body. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath, and his divine power shattered. Death Chi's erosion is too serious. Only mind power is retained. Another short Dharma body also shattered the divine body. Begin to fuse towards the Dharma body that uses the sword. The three Dharma bodies are integrated into one. Divine power did not increase much, but the power of thought almost doubled. In an instant, he had the combat power of a quasi-7 star. The invisible sword also appeared in his hand, and the sword broke through the air, and the sound of the sword sounded buzzing. Time and space reincarnation. Jian Wushuang shouted angrily. A sword cut through the entrance of the cave. Time and space also shattered. The originally small hole was instantly opened. The roars hidden in the dead aura also seemed to have found an exit, rushing towards the crack. As if to escape from this big world. Jian Wushuang didn't care about it. Standing in the dead air, watching countless demons fly out. The outside world is a mess. The interracial woman, who had been peeping at the place, quickly retreated with her. But behind her were the strong Zhu family who were chasing her. The end of the road has now been reached. Fortunately, those demons in the dead air are indistinguishable from people. What's the situation? The cosmic of Zhu's family was also stunned. They knew about the mouse hole here, but they didn't expect these things to be hidden in the mouse hole. Seeing that something was wrong, I wanted to go back. Don't care about women of different races. The strengths of those monsters vary, but each is at the level of the universe god. As if being held insane, he ran out frantically. In the face of the strong man blocking it, shredded directly. Xiang Yang's group were all frightened and dumbfounded at this time, and they didn't know what to do. Just when he was at a loss, Jian Wushuang rushed out with a Shenzhen in his hand. It's just that at this time he was wearing a mask and Xiang Yang couldn't recognize him at all. But the universe of the Zhu family knew, and wanted to step forward to ask about the situation. But he didn't expect Jian Wushuang to shoot them directly. With just one sword, all the demons and beasts were smashed into pieces, entangled with time and space. Blessing C was taken aback. The sword just now was absolutely beyond his cognition. At this time, Jian Wushuang also gently took off his mask, revealing his true face. Xiang Yang was immediately stunned. Jian Wushuang, who was the lord of the universe before, has become of the universe in an instant. And he is also a super powerhouse who can cut through time and space with one sword. How can he not be surprised? Together for 100,000 years. Although he felt that Jian Wushuang was a bit mysterious, he didn't expect to hide it so deeply. Stand behind me if you want to live. Jian Wushuang held the divine sword upside down, and his tone was majestic. At this moment, the dullness of the past is gone. Xiang Yang didn't dare to breathe in front of him, and stood behind him honestly. Come here too. Jian Wushuang turned to look at the alien woman. This person can't die, and he hasn't asked the secret of his body. As for those in the Zhu family, knowing the secrets of this place, they can't stay. Raise your hand and count the swords out. Together with the entire twilight plane, it instantly turned into a chaotic crack in time and space. Directly destroyed this treasure. He wants to cover up the big world below. Otherwise, there will be more people, and it will be more troublesome to explore. Xiang Yang and the alien woman stood behind him obediently, not daring to say a word. After dealing with the rest, Jian Wushuang turned to look at the two of them. Thank you, Senior, for saving your life. Xiang Yang reacted quickly, and immediately knelt down and worshipped. The alien woman had a proud look, and even raised her head to look at Jian Wushuang without saying a word. Oh, it's quite a backbone. A smile leaked from the corner of Jian Wushuang's mouth, and with a wave of his hand, he directly wrapped the two of them, and rushed into the crack of time and space. As he entered the rift, the ruined dusk plains were once again calm. The original cracks were repaired in an instant. It's just that the grassland is gone, leaving a whole void. Above the void stood a figure of a young man who looked exactly like Jian Wushuang. This is also his legal body, one of the 5 7-star cosmic gods. He sits here himself. Jian Wushuang can go to explore the big world below with peace of mind. and the Vulcan mountain of the Zhu family has just been swept to the ground. However, it did not generate much attention in the entire ancient wilderness. Nowadays, most of the super strong people have gone to explore the new secret realm. That is Jian Wushuang's deity body. No one paid attention to the destruction of a small Vulcan mountain. On the contrary, several cosmic gods from Yushan Mountain had come here and explored the ruins of Vulcan Mountain for a few days. After not finding much, they left. In the days that followed, the territory near Vulcan Mountain was naturally swallowed up by the rest of the forces. And the Twilight Plains have also become history. No one pays attention. As for Jian Wushuang's legal body entering the mysterious world, no one knows. Deep in the twilight, the hidden world unfolded in front of Jian Wushuang's eyes. Whoa! The sound of the sea crashing against the shore was ups and downs. 4229/10549855. Chapter 6238. 6238 Chapter Star Luo. On a certain beach in the mysterious world, there were 3 figures lying on their backs. 2 men and 1 woman. Looking at the appearance of the 3 of them, they seemed to be washed up by the sea, and they all fell into a coma at this time. One of the young men in a blue robe woke up first. As soon as his eyelids moved, the first thing he saw when he opened his eyes was the white sandy beach and the green plants on the island. The person who woke up slowly got up, looked at everything around, and his heart shook. It was not because of the scenery on the island that attracted him, but a sense of powerlessness. What about my divine power? The young man held his hands and muttered to himself. Just a moment ago, he was still the sword with agitated sword intent, but at this moment he has no power to tie the chicken. This person is none other than Jian Wushuang. He brought the alien woman and Xiang Yang into this big world. As for Xiang Yang, he just rescued him. And as for the alien woman, he wanted to take the opportunity to inquire about the identity of the other party and why there was Wanli's power. Unexpectedly, after entering the Death Chi cave, he found that the deeper he went, the more powerless he became. Quasi-7 stars combat power can't be resisted. I wanted to leave, ready to send a more powerful Dharma body to explore. But at that time, deathly anger grabbed him like crazy and dragged him into this big world madly. After that, he completely lost consciousness. After waking up, all divine power was lost. There is only one flesh body that has been weakened countless times. At this moment, he is no different from a mortal. Not even the mustard on the fingers can be used. The key point is that he has also cut off contact with the outside world. Unable to contact my deity. In other words, his consciousness was trapped in this big world. Thinking of the monsters that fled wildly at the beginning, I am afraid it is the cultivator trapped in this big world. Thinking of this, he didn't stand firm and directly fell on the alien woman. Puff! The alien woman was so pressed. Her mouth suddenly spit out a mouthful of seawater, and she woke up after a few dry coughs. Jian Wushuang completely ignored it. He never imagined that after entering this big world, he would be deprived of divine power. Now consciousness is also blocked. Can't get out. How to do? Jian Wushuang was in a hurry. In the past, when he encountered such a situation, at least he had a backhand. For example, a true spirit or a realm king can support him. Well now, no one knew he was trapped in this strange world. No one will come to save him. Everything is up to you. Without the guidance of the deity's thought power, the outside world will fall asleep. It is the same with the body of God in the void. This time, I really played myself into a fire pit. Get up for me. The alien woman woke up and found that she was being pressed by Jian Wushuang and pushed Jian Wushuang away. She patted the sand on her body with disgust. After standing up, she was not surprised by Jian Wushuang, but looked very excited. It was like returning to his hometown, breathing in the air. Jian Wushuang's brows moved. Although he lost his divine power, his eyesight was still there. He was no longer a 3-year-old child. He immediately saw that the alien girl was very familiar with this place. Have you been here? The alien girl turned her head and gave him a blank look, and sneered. Does it have anything to do with you? She doesn't care how strong Jian Wushuang is in the outside world. But in this world, it is just as useless. He didn't even look at Jian Wushuang. He raised his head and was about to leave here. Seeing that Jian Wushuang was too soft, he got up and chased after him, grabbed the shoulder of the alien girl, and said coldly, "Since you don't speak well." Just when he was about to get tough, he found that there was a strange power in the other party. Just a frown. It shook him back 100 feet, and the whole person fell into the sea again. He wasn't even deprived of his power. Jian Wushuang was blinded all of a sudden. He had previously guessed that the world would deprive him of his power, but the other party still had some kind of power in him. Although it is not divine power, that breath still does not belong to mortals. This made his guess even more certain. Swimming to the shore, looking at the alien girl who wanted to leave directly, Jian Wushuang shouted angrily, "Don't think I can't do anything about you. As long as my Dharma body falls, I can return to the outside world. It's over." His threats were not just words. It's a big deal, and I don't want the power of thought and power. There is one thing he doesn't dare to gamble. That is, if he falls, he can't transmit his consciousness to the outside world. Then it's really over. But he bet the other party didn't know it. When the alien woman stopped, he knew the bet was right. "Are you threatening me?" The alien woman slowly turned her head, staring at Jian Wushuang with cold eyes. A killing intent struck, making Jian Wushuang almost unsteady. But he has experienced too many life and death. Even if he has no strength, he will not be frightened by a girl's film. He will hold his body, and his tone will be firm. "You can think so? Hehe, then you can just die." The alien woman sneered, and was about to leave immediately. Jian Wushuang did not expect the other party to be so direct. "I didn't care about his threat at all. I thought this trick would be useful." But at this moment, a voice stopped the alien woman. "Xinghua, is that you?" Hearing this voice, the alien woman was stunned. This time, she was not indifferent to Jian Wushuang, but had an indescribable sadness, and finally replied with a trembling voice, "Xinghua is dead. I am not her." "You can't lie to me." Xiang Yang stood up, ignoring the special nature of this place, and walked straight to the alien woman. "Why did you abandon me in the first place? Why?" Xiang Yang's voice was heartbreaking. This made Jian Wushuang bewildered. He didn't expect the other party to have a past with this alien woman, and it seemed that the relationship was unusual. The alien woman Xing Luo took a deep breath, looked sideways at Xiang Yang, and said in a slow tone, "If you want to know, just swim 30 miles to the southeast. Where am I waiting for you?" After speaking, the figure rose into the air, and the power erupted again. It's a pity that this kind of power is very weak, just like mortals who have just practiced qi, relying on ordinary qi to carry the body. The strength is naturally not the same. Looking at the other party's back, Xiang Yang did not hesitate, and immediately prepared to jump up, only to realize that his divine power had long since disappeared. Only then did he look at Jian Wushuang in surprise. "What happened? How do I know? Let's swim." Jian Wushuang stretched out his hand, and he had no choice but to do as the other party said. The two descended directly into the ocean in the southeast direction. It's a pity that the years of practice have made him forget how fragile the mortal body is. After swimming less than 3 miles, the two almost collapsed. It's all about willpower. 30 miles I swam all day. 4229/10549976. Chapter 6239. If they hadn't encountered a huge turtle in the middle, they would have drowned in the sea. Jian Wushuang has never been so aggrieved before. When he was refining his physical body, he was also comparable to A with a mortal body. Now it is like this. In the outside world, he is a cosmic with 9 stars. Midnight. The two finally swam ashore. There is a dock built by mortals. Even at night, the lights are bright and people come and go. Seeing 2 young men in melted clothes swimming over from the sea, their eyes widened in disbelief. "Oh!" Jian Wushuang dragged his exhausted body flat on the deck by the shore, gasping for breath. Xiang Yang next to him was not as good as him, and he couldn't even breathe. Several porters who were watching the excitement stepped forward and asked in a low voice, "You two young masters, who are you?" Because Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang were well dressed, these porters were very polite. But Xiang Yang next to him was too naive, perhaps because he had never experienced the mortal world. He just missed the basics. Jian Wushuang couldn't stop him if he wanted to. After seeing Xiang Yang regain some physical strength, he said loudly about his identity and went to find Xinglua. When these porters saw the noble man in front of him, he was nothing but a blank slate. What Vulcan Mount in Jilu City? None of them had heard of it, but when they saw a piece of jade pendant hanging from Xiang Yang's waist, their hot eyes leaped. Third, that jade pendant looks pretty good to me. If you go well, you can go to town for a while. A thief-eyed porter showed a greedy look, but he didn't have the guts, so he fiddled with the man next to him. The strong porter wanted to take advantage of Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang. Hearing the words, the bearded porter glared at him and said disdainfully, "Imhu-san, that kind of person Chinmatsi, let me tell you, if you dare to make trouble at the dock, he'll be the first to destroy you." After he finished speaking, he scolded the others angrily. "What are you looking at? You don't have to work, just go to work for me." Husani spoke, and the porters who were watching all shrank their necks, not daring to resist a little bit, and turned away one after another. But when Chenmatsi left, he couldn't help but look back at Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang. After the rest of the people left, Husan said to Xiang Yang, "I've never heard of Huashinshinjilu City, but it's a small island 30 miles away. It should be Oasis Island. You two are fine. Where can a rich boy with tender skin swim here? He is quite capable. Also, the nearest big city here is Yongcheng, and here is the Chishui Wharf in Qingshan Town. If you know someone, you can send a letter to someone to pick you up. If you don't have an acquaintance, you can wait at the wharf first. There will be merchant ships going to Yongcheng through the canal, and you can take them at that time." Husan's words were already very polite, and he pointed out the way for the two of them. But Xiang Yang couldn't listen at all, and shouted in search for Xinglua. Everyone at the pier looked over. The highest 3-story building on the dock also lit up, and an elderly Jiazi walked out of it and asked, "Husan, what happened? Who is calling?" "Master Lu." 2 people floated over from the sea, and said they were going to Jilu City, Huashan Mountain? Husan answered truthfully. Upstairs, Master Lu frowned. Through the dim firelight, he glanced at Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang. His eyes softened, and he said indifferently, "Bring them up." Hearing this, Xiang Yang seemed to grab a life-saving straw, thinking that the people above knew about Jilu City. Then he dragged Jian Wushuang and Husan upstairs. However, Husan, who was walking in front, was obviously hesitant, and when he looked at the two of them, he was worried. The rough man in front of him looked scary, but he had a good heart. This is Jian Wushuang's many years of experience. Xiang Yang stopped dreaming. To be honest with you, this world is different from the world god continent. Don't fantasize about it. Be careful when you go downstairs and look at me. Jian Wushuang reminded carefully. If he had known, he would have told Xiang Yang the situation here in advance. After Xiang Yang heard his words, he obviously paused, and his eyes showed disbelief. But after thinking about the strength of Jian Wushuang in the outside world, he felt that Jian Wushuang might be telling the truth. Otherwise, where did his divine power go? Not even mind power. At this time, they had followed Husan upstairs. Walking on the creaking aisle, you can see the whole sea when you look up. That's where they come from. But now one can't fly, and 2, there is no mind power exploration. There is no exit at all. You can only find Xing Luo first, and the other party must know the secrets of this big world. The only one who can help him leave this world is Xing Luo, or the willow breath on her body. Following Husan into the only room on the 3rd floor, there was a pungent smell, which instantly interrupted Jian Wushuang's thoughts and stared at it. I saw that Master Lu closed his eyes and slanted on the bed smoking a dry cigarette, and there was an ugly but beautiful woman leaning beside him. Jian Wushuang has not seen this kind of appearance and temperament for a long time. The woman he met wasn't amazing, or she wouldn't have caught his eye. But at this time, standing in the house, the ugly woman didn't even look at the two of them. It seems to be underestimated. As for the pungent smell, it came from under the bed, so it was self-evident what it was. Master Lu, someone brought it. Wuxian stood in front of the bed and reminded cautiously. Lord Lu on the bed nodded lightly, and then opened his eyes. After taking a closer look at Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang, he said silently, "Look at your appearance, are you family members?" "No." This time Jian Wushuang did not wait for Xiang Yang to speak, and answered the other party's question first. "Oh, you don't want to tell the truth when you get here?" Master Lu sneered. "He is a piece of the sky at Chishui Wharf, and he is also the emperor here. It is a person who has been to Yongcheng and seen the big world. At a glance, you can see that Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang must be children of wealthy families who escaped from a merchant ship. Recently, the Yongcheng side has been turbulent, and many dignitaries in the ancient building country have gone to sea. Therefore, Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang were regarded as children of wealthy families who escaped. If it is a safe life, he will be afraid. But now those dignitaries are fleeing towards Chilean Sea, he will not have any scruples." Immediately raised his eyes and signaled Wuxian to search his body. "You dare to do something to me?" Xiang Yang almost jumped up when he saw this. He couldn't stand Lu Ye's eyes anymore, let alone a mortal. Even the Lord of the Universe would not dare to scold him like that. Chapter 6240. Wuxian frowned and didn't feel embarrassed to start, but after seeing Lu Ye's irresistible eyes, he could only say coldly, "Be honest, take out everything on your body, or you won't be able to get out of Chilean Pier." Xiang Yang listened to him. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath. "If you do it, although the strength is not as good as Wuxian, but with his punching skills, it should not be difficult to bring down the opponent." But that was too embarrassing. He can see that Wuxian's character is not bad. The big deal is to give some accessories on his body to the other party. Anyway, these things have no value to him now. Give it. Feel free to remove the diamond-encrusted hat from the top of your head, and the bracelet from your wrist. But Mustard Seed, he stayed. If the power of mind is restored, there is still something in it that can be used. Fortunately, he is not the deity. If the deity can't give the beast soldier, and the sword of 10,000 calamities to mortals, TSK, it's good cooperation. Wuxian and the rest will bring them to change their clothes and settle down on the pier first. Okay, I'll make arrangements now. Wuxian seemed to be relieved, and hurriedly greeted Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang to leave. After getting down from the wooden building, Wuxian let out a sigh of relief, turned his head and glanced at Jian Wushuang, and said with admiration, "You're not bad. You know you can bend and stretch. If you dared to resist just now, you'll have to go into the sea to feed the fish today." "Stop talking nonsense. What are you going to do?" Xiang Yang couldn't help asking. Wuxian touched his chin and said indifferently, "I won't do anything to you, but Master Lu won't be so." After talking, he stopped talking to Xiang Yang, walked straight to a row of thatched cottages, pointed to an empty room and said, "Go in. You two will be porters of Chishui Pier in the future. You can come to me if you have any questions." "Porter." Xiang Yang was stunned at first when he heard the words, then looked at the skinny men who were neither human nor ghost. The corners of his eyes twitched a few times, and he immediately laughed. Jian Wushuang shrugged, but he didn't have any nonsense, and dragged Xiang Yang into the room. Xiang Yang, who was pulled into the house, was still a little unconvinced and shouted, "Jian Wushuang, you are still the of the universe, so you are just like this in the face of mortals?" "Otherwise," Jian Wushuang waved his hand and said helplessly, "Have them chop up the fish? That's better than being so useless." Xiang Yang was still not convinced. Jian Wushuang turned cold, raised his hand and slapped Xiang Yang in the face. Xiang Yang, who became immortal, suddenly felt a burning pain in his cheeks. Without any strength, he is nothing now. Even the pain of ordinary flesh and blood made him unbearable. The only thing inherited is probably the identity of the eldest young master. "You hit me." Xiang Yang touched his cheek and stared, wanting to fight with the price of Jian Wushuang. Although Jian Wushuang had become immortal, His fists and kung fu were so good. He kicked Xiangyang out as soon as he lifted his leg. This foot is very heavy. Even the burly Husan can't stand it. Not to mention Xiangyang with thin skin and tender meat. Plus having soaked in the sea all day during the day. This kick made Xiangyang fall to the ground. And he couldn't even scream while holding his stomach. Jian Wushuang took a deep breath, walked beside Xiangyang, squatted down slowly, and said in a cold tone, "Now I tell you we are all mortals. Put away your old son appearance in this world. We are not as good as ants. If you want to survive, you have to endure. And if you want to return to the peak of the past, you have to listen to me honestly, understand?" Although Xiangyang, who was curled up on the ground, couldn't speak, he could see that he had listened to this sentence, and nodded heavily. Seeing that the other party was honest, he helped Xiangyang up, and helped him to lie down on the bed. He didn't expect Xiangyang to cry at this time. Although it's a bit ridiculous, but thinking about it, it feels normal. They've all become mortals. Isn't it normal to cry? After calming down for a while, Jian Wushuang ran to the theme. "That Xingluo, what's going on?" Hearing Xingluo's name, Xiangyang coughed dryly, his eyes reddened, and he said, "She was a little beggar that my brother and I picked up in Jilu City. You should have heard of what happened later. She turned against each other, and Xingluo chose an elder in the family at this time, and became a concubine. At that time, my strength was still very weak, and I begged my eldest brother to rescue Xingluo, because I did not believe that she was willing, but the project refused. I'm not interested in this. I'll just say, what does Xingluo have to do with this world? And the power in her body? Do you Xiang family know? And why you have to keep your eyes on the Twilight Plane over and over again?" A series of questions directly confused Xiangyang. He looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise. Only then did Jian Wushuang think that Xiangyang was also a tool person, and was used by the family, or in other words, by Xingluo. How to know the actual situation? Seeing his confused look, he could only sigh helplessly. A lifetime of eagles, really. He never imagined that his own layout would trap himself into this big world. Lost everything from the outside world. He was also robbed by mortals, and his clothes were almost stripped. Just thinking of this, footsteps came from outside the door. The person who came was Husan, who still had 2 sets of black linen in his hand, and threw them to Xiangyang on the bed. He turned his head and said to Jian Wushuang, "Don't take off all your clothes in a daze. These clothes work." What to say? Jian Wushuang had no choice but to do so. In fact, he can escape with Xiangyang, or escape alone. But where can the body of a mortal now go? The most urgent task now is to find Xingluo. But after arriving at the pier, there was no sign of Xingluo at all, and there was a high probability that he was tricked by the other party. However, Jian Wushuang still held on to a glimmer of hope, hoping that Xingluo would appear, and in favor of Xiangyang, he would be able to tell him the secrets of this world, or the way to get out. As long as he goes out, he must smash this place. He vowed to use the deity's full strength. It is necessary to raise the divine power to the perfect break here, in order to relieve the hatred in the heart. But now, he has to face reality. After changing their clothes, Husan took the honor clothes they were wearing, and when they left 2 wawatu, hard and swish. Neither of them could eat. But the mortal flesh has begun to protest. He could only shove the nest into his stomach with the cold, bone-piercing clean water. Because of a tired day, the 2 also went to bed early. In the early morning of the next day, when the sky was still bright, Husan's shouts woke the 2 of them up. When I opened my eyelids, it was okay to not move. When I moved, I felt like my whole body was falling apart. The pain in my whole body was even more tired than before. Fortunately, Jian Wushuang's perseverance was still there, and he stood up stunned. Xiangyang was much worse off and couldn't get up at all. Chapter 6241. In the end, he helped him up. Get out of the cabin. Only then did they find that porters number 2 and 3 were all lined up, and went to a small shack to lead the food, saying its food is actually fooling people. A bowl of clear vegetable porridge with thatch, and a haiwowo. With the beginning of yesterday, neither of them was polite, and they devoured each other. Seeing this, Husan smiled, and felt that the two knew the current affairs very well, and merged very quickly. Lung is no more arrogant yesterday. To be honest, it made him feel a little funny. These porters, their work in the morning is to carry sacks from merchant ships docked at the dock. Each bag has at least 100 pounds. No matter how good Jian Wushuang's perseverance is, he can't stand it after a few back and forth. He even regrets that he didn't escape last night. This guy Xiang Yang was even worse. He was completely tired after just 2 back and forth. And now he is hiding in the merchant ship, and is unwilling to say anything. It was soon discovered by the supervisor. This man is not as talkative as Husan. And when he entered the merchant ship, and took Xiang Yang out, he was whipped. No one of the porters who carried them back and forth stepped forward to help them. And they didn't even look at them. Jian Wushuang was the same, watching from the sidelines. It's just that his eyes swept around intentionally or unintentionally. In fact, he was quite happy to see Xiang Yang being abused. Maybe he could lead to Xing Luo. In any case, the two of them had such a relationship at the beginning. Xiang Yang brothers too, but she picked up on the street. You can't be so ruthless and unscrupulous. Just as Jian Wushuang was looking for Xing Luo's figure, a screeching sound stopped the overseer. It was a crisp sound, very pleasant on this noisy pier. When I went downstairs, there was a woman in Xingyi standing. She frowned and walked to the deck below the merchant ship complaining. Why beat him? Ms. Liu, this guy doesn't carry the cargo and hide in the cabin to be lazy. If I hadn't looked for it, he could have slept until it was dark. The overseer said and kicked Xiang Yang. Xiang Yang, who was on the ground, only felt that the world was spinning and turning over. His eyes were extremely cloudy. Miss Liu has a kind heart at heart. She is the adopted daughter of Master Liu, the boss of the wharf. She has suffered from hardship since she was a child. Immediately, people carried Xiang Yang into his room, and they also asked people to find medicine and give Xiang Yang the medicine in person. This beating was not in vain. In the next few days, Xiang Yang will no longer have to carry sacks. On the contrary, Jian Wushuang gave up completely. Xing Luo did not appear. Xiang Yang sat on the threshold all day in a daze like crazy. It was even more difficult for Jian Wushuang to be alone. Someday night. Xiang Yang's injuries have healed, but he still goes to Lu Susu every day to avoid the porter's work. Back to the shack at night, Jian Wushuang was completely speechless and did not pay any attention to him. Prepared to run away in a few days. After several days of research, he found that merchant ships would stay at the dock for 1 day after being transported and leave early the next morning. He could use the next day's work to sneak to those merchant ships that left the dock. No matter where the destination is. Can't stay here anymore. Even if you go out to starve to death, you can't work aimlessly here. Sooner or later, because of the environment here, his mind will be wiped out. When Xing Luo entered this world, he still retained a kind of power, which means that this world can be cultivated. Not a completely mundane world. As long as he can practice, he can return to the peak. With his talent in the outside world and perseverance, he will leave this ghost place sooner or later. But before he could implement the plan, Xiang Yang changed his normal behavior that night and returned to the shack early. Seeing Jian Wushuang laying his head on the wooden bed and looking at the moonlight outside through the window, Xiang Yang first sighed and then said with emotion, Jian Wushuang, have you ever thought that such a day would come? This sentence seems to open the conversation box of two people. Anyway, Jian Wushuang must escape tomorrow, and he simply speaks freely. Speaking of past experiences, it is not that he has not experienced the mundane world. He has been to countless magical worlds. In the world of consciousness, he has also seen the ultimate mystery of the starry sky. Extensive knowledge. How can it be a comparison of yang energy? Having said a lot, Xiang Yang's eyes became firmer. I have long seen that you are not very human. You may have had some intentions when you hid in my Xiang family. But there is one thing I don't understand. Why you should choose the Xiang family. If I guess right, your real strength should be 4-star cosmic god, even stronger. Xiang Yang's guess was correct. He calculated it based on the Zhu family. Jian Wushuang can kill many strong Zhu family, and definitely has the combat power of the 4-star cosmic god. But why should a super strong man with such strength hide in the Xiang family and call him a brother for so many years? Jian Wushuang was silent for a while and said indifferently, "For the sake of the calamity, do you believe it? TSK, this is the funniest joke I've ever heard." Xiang Yang couldn't help laughing. Puff. Jian Wushuang also laughed out loud. Funny indeed. He can smash the means of time and space at his fingertips, and no one will believe that he is not the god of the universe. But he really wasn't the god of the universe. If he was the god of the universe, he wouldn't have come to such a remote area as the ancient wilderness region. But then think about it. If you become of the universe, or of space and time, or that has never existed before, maybe it's time to go to the stars. Ugh, Jian Wushuang sighed in his heart. When he was in the northern time and space, he felt that he was omnipotent, and he looked at the future of time and everything in the past. But I can't find my timeline. I want to see my past self, or my future self. Future. Speaking of which, this is the way that teacher Xianyi pointed to him. But how long will he have to wait? The future is very long. It's infinitely possible. At this time, I don't know how far it is from that time. But Jian Wushuang could feel that after entering this big world this time, he felt close. A big world hidden in the wild ancient domain. It's easy to hide the 8-star universe god. Even the 9 stars cosmic god can't find it, it's normal. The only thing beyond his knowledge was that the world blocked his consciousness. Isolate the deity. In addition, the deity was banned by him, and now he can only watch. Even the deity lost consciousness. If he was trapped here and couldn't get out, it would be equivalent to falling. That's the scariest thing. And since this big world has such special rules, it must come from the hands of a super existence. Even the realm gods have no such means. Either it is the great realm king god, or it is the means of a super existence in the starry sky, plus the 10,000 willow aura on Xing Luo's body. He quickly thought of Weiss. Could it be the ghost of Weiss? But on second thought, I felt it was not necessary. What are you doing with this world? At least now he didn't see the effect. He also needs to explore slowly. Exploration requires strength. If you are just a mortal, with a lifespan of just 100 years, you can't finish this world. After entering this world, he felt that his body began to age. The chin also grows stubble, which is a sign that life is passing. Chapter 6242. Chapter 6242. The shadow of the dream lying on the wooden bed. The two were speechless. Jian Wushuang recalled himself, then turned to look at Xiang Yang. He is not sure whether the other party is still useful now. If it doesn't work, then he'll go alone tomorrow. But he was worried that if Xinglua turned back to find Xiang Yang at that time, he may have missed a big opportunity. He has never been afraid of the cultivation path. As long as someone takes him, with his talent and perseverance, he will soon be able to become the pinnacle of this big world. It is impossible to be idle. After hesitating for a long time, he said, Xiang Yang, are you planning to stay in this pier for the rest of your life? If not. Xiang Yang had a sloppy tone, with straw in his mouth and eyes blank. No way, he has experienced too little. Children of such a family have never managed the mundane era at all. Not much frustration. Cultivation all the way to become immortal, looking to God. There are endless opportunities for him. Now that this is the case, it is good to be aware of it. What Jian Wushuang did not expect was that Xiang Yang suddenly sat up, his eyes suddenly focused, staring at him and said solemnly, Jian Wushuang, are you going to run away? This sentence made Jian Wushuang frown, but he did not refute, and nodded silently. Really? He Xiang Yang, don't you think him addicted to sax? Jian Wushuang shook his head and smiled bitterly. He suddenly felt that the other party was too naive, thinking that he did not resist, and that he was integrated into it by working every day. How can this happen? He has practiced for such a long time, and the expectations of countless people. How could he be willing to degenerate into carrying sacks? If it spreads out, I am afraid that many people will laugh off their big teeth. Whether in the world god continent, or the northern time and space, many people look up to him. With such a blessing, Jian Wushuang would not be able to bow his head in this small place. Hearing his firm voice, Xiang Yang lowered his tone a lot. Actually, I've been thinking about how to escape. I'm afraid you won't dare. Don't you dare? I might as well leave you a bottom line. I have experienced a lot in this mortal world, but every time I win, this time it will not be an accident. I swear that as long as I leave this world, I will make this deity smash it. Jian Wushuang almost finished speaking through gritted teeth. This ghost place blocked his mind power. It was definitely not easy. But no matter whose plan is, as long as it is not good for him, he will never be soft-hearted. Haha, I thought you were going to give up. But I didn't expect you to leave this ghost place sooner or later. And I was going to destroy this pier before leaving. Xiang Yang looked excited. Ruin the pier? This time the gap between the two can be seen. Jian Wushuang is trying to destroy the world. Xiang Yang felt that the pier brought him a lot of pain, and wanted to destroy the pier to relieve his hatred. As for the plan, with so many people at the dock, I can't do it with you alone. Jian Wushuang shook his head and persuaded. Leave the Green Mountains without worrying about no firewood. The most important thing for us is to leave here first. No, I'm not reconciled to sneaking away. You don't know how that young lunatic tortured me. I won't just leave. I must kill him. Xiang Yang clenched his fists. Madman Yang is the foreman of the wharf. He is different from Tiger 3. Husan is the leader of the porters. Although he doesn't have to work, his power is not as good as that of young lunatic. The current form of this pier is headed by Master Lu, and his two capable generals are Yang Lunzi and Husan. Husan is simple and honest, and his heart is not bad. Many porters admire him. But this guy Yang Lunzi is different. Often tortures some porters. Even if you are not lazy, you will be whipped. You'd better fight the sack like a normal person after the whipping, or hell hit you harder until you're seriously injured. Then throw it into the shed to fend for itself. Therefore, the porters in the whole pier were afraid of him, and they dared not speak out. When you are lucky, Lu Susu will stop it, and if you are unlucky, she will go to the sea to feed the fish. Jian Wushuang also survived, but fortunately his willpower is tenacious. Unlike Xiang Yang, who was beaten and curled up on the ground. In any case, he used to be a super strong, and it is impossible to be scared by mortals. It's a little difficult to destroy the pier, but if you want revenge, I can help you kill Madman Yang. There was murder in Jian Wushuang's tone. Madman Yang's body is not that burly, only 7 feet tall. Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang are both 8 feet tall. Although they are not as strong as Husan's 9-foot-strong man, it is very easy to deal with the young lunatic, especially sneak attacks. When Xiang Yang heard this, there was unwillingness in his eyes, and he wanted to kill Master Lu, the biggest devil in this pier. Treat human life like a mustard. That is Lu Susu's adoptive father. Jian Wushuang didn't expect Xiang Yang's murderous intention to be so heavy, and was a little worried that the other party would go crazy before embarking on the path of cultivation. After all, rebuilding takes a lot of courage. Of course he is not afraid of it, and he is very experienced. But Xiang Yang is different. It will definitely be a burden in the future. But now the other party is still useful. Maybe it will attract Xing Luo. So can't give up. Now that you can try it out. As for the idea of running away tomorrow, he never said anything, because he wasn't going to run away alone. That night the two planned their next move. Decided to find an opportunity to kill young lunatic within 3 days, and then force Gong Liuya. As long as they take down these two people, those porters will definitely not resist, because they are already numb, and for them it is a change of ruler. But before doing all this, you need to get someone. That is Tiger 3, because even if the two of them killed Master Lu, those porters would only transfer to Husan. If Husan didn't let them go, they would still be besieged to death. Jian Wushuang, with the body of a mortal, can beat 7 or 8, and he can't resist. Therefore, we can only outsmart Tiger 3. It's ridiculous to think about. Once upon a time, one sword broke through Kyushu, and one chi and one universe. A sword-wielding person can smash Lin Xiao and rush out of Huanyu. But now, you have to use your brain on a vulgar man. Thinking of this, a sense of drowsiness struck, and Jian Wushuang also fell into a deep sleep. In the dream, he sees the scene in front of him, but when he woke up, was on earth for him. In a daze, he saw a figure in his dream. The figure turned his back to him, but had 1,000 suction, and wanted to step forward. But at this time, he only felt that his legs were spinning uncontrollably and twisted into a knot. And no matter how he walked forward, he couldn't break free. Couldn't say it if I wanted to shout. He could only stare at the figure. Who is that? The more Jian Wushuang looked, the more familiar he became, but he just couldn't think of the other party's name. In a trance, he was woken up. Open your eyes. Seeing Xiang Yang, the other party frowned and said in surprise, Jian Wushuang, you won't have a nightmare. Don't be too nervous, just some mortals. 4229/10554340. Chapter 6243. Chapter 6243. Murderous ups and downs. Jian Wushuang ignored him, stood up suddenly, and wiped the sweat from his forehead. After taking a few breaths, he said firmly, according to the plan. Then one person walked out of the shack. The sky outside was not completely bright yet, so he walked to a well familiarly, and poured a bucket of cold, biting well water. He drank 2 big mouthfuls with a spoon, and didn't feel happy, so he poured it on his head with a spoon. This made me feel a lot more awake. After washing my face, I finally recovered my spirits. At this time, when I thought about the dream again, it was already blurred. He didn't take it to heart, he just thought he was thinking too much. At this time, in the shack where the meals were placed, people were already queuing up to receive food. He walked to the back of the crowd, and just as he stood firm, someone kicked over. You bastard, your food has been taken away, and you're still in line. Although Jian Wushuang has a solid foundation in his fists and kicks, his physical body does not have much resistance. This kick directly kicked him to the ground, and he struggled to get up on the muddy ground. When he turned his head, he saw the maddened young lunatic, and the short whip of thorns around his waist. His eyes contained killing intent. Jian Wushuang didn't talk nonsense, picked up the broken bowl on the ground, and when he bent down, his eyes revealed an imperceptible killing intent. Let him dance for 2 more days. It's just the last few days. He now also understands Xiang Yang's thoughts. After being bullied by Madman Yang for so long, he really couldn't express his ill will if he didn't kill him. Throwing the bowl to the shack, seeing the mud on Xiang Yang's body, he knew that this guy was also beaten. The 2 of them were thus deprived of food. However, both of them leaked a smile, proving that their guesses were accurate. These days, Xiang Yang is jealous because of Lu Susu's care. In fact, all the people at the wharf hated Xiang Yang. No way, there are hundreds of people at Chishui Wharf, but there are only 2 women. One is exclusively enjoyed by Master Lu, and the other is Master Liu's adopted daughter. A glance at Lu Susu usually makes those porters who have never touched a woman feel happy. But when they saw that Lu Susu was very close to Xiang Yang, and even looked very gentle to Xiang Yang, it made them even more hated. Especially young lunatic, he went to the Tiger 3 theory again and again. I want Xiang Yang to rejoin the porter team, but the 3 tigers refused. Lu Susu didn't even ask, she simply refused. This made Xiang Yang and Jian Wushuang a little confused. Logically speaking, Husanjin Lu Susu is a childhood sweetheart, and the one who should be most angry should be Husan. But Husan not only didn't get angry, on the contrary, he sheltered Xiang Yang. This inevitably made Jian Wushuang touch his chin, and sighed in his heart. Is it possible, this Husan doesn't like women? He immediately put the idea behind him. The morning work is the hardest, because 3 merchant ships came last night. Moved 2 ships in one morning. Take it easy in the afternoon. During the transportation, some guys on the merchant ship were talking about things over Yongcheng. Jian Wushuang deliberately slowed down and pricked up his ears. Hey, I didn't expect that even the dignitaries in Yongcheng began to withdraw. Could it be that Jiang Guo really couldn't stop the annexation of Yugua? You don't know that. King Xiaoyang of Yu Kingdom married the princess. This time King Xiaoyang personally led his troops to attack Jiang State, and he would definitely not be able to stop him. That's right, the rumored little Liang King. But the Lord who can go to heaven and earth, one city in one night, one state in 10 days, is simply of war. The conversation between the two made Jian Wushuang frown. I don't have any interest in the mortal dynasties fighting, killing Jian Wushuang. But when I heard which Xiaoyang King has such magical powers, I immediately became interested. But he couldn't ask directly, so he deliberately passed by the two of them carrying the sack, and whispered to himself at the same time, "Hee, the sky is on the ground, you can really blow." Stimulation is the most useful method of clichés. It won't change anywhere. Sure enough, the two guys immediately stared. Although they are all from the Jiang country, they all worship Xiaoyang King from the bottom of their hearts, and immediately retorted, "You are a wharf porter who knows shit, move your sack well. You will never understand the existence of King Xiaoyang." Another buddy also retorted. Seeing them take the bait, Jian Wushuang deliberately sneered. "Why, have you seen it with your own eyes? You're really a scumbag, let me tell you this. When our brothers were going south and north, you didn't know where you were in that hole. Although I haven't seen King Xiaoyang make a move, the front line was beaten with a head and a mouse. I've seen a lot of deserters, everyone says that. Is it possible that they're lying? Okay, don't talk nonsense with this kind of person. When we get off the boat, the boss will ask us to go to Qingshan town for a drink. Go back and pack up and hurry up." When the boatman heard it, he deliberately said with the yin and yang anger, "That's right, it's time for us to go unrestrained. There is no need to follow the coolie nonsense, the guy who can't eat wine in his life." After speaking, the two turned their heads and left. Jian Wushuang was stagnant for a moment while carrying the sack. Liquor. He really hadn't had a drink for a long time. But soon he will be able to leave this ghost place. Noon. Xiang Yang, this guy, and Lu Susu are in the house with each other, just like a son of an aristocratic family. Actually think about it. Qin, chess, calligraphy and painting, as well as astronomy and geography, are proficient in everything. Especially after suffering a lot, the way of flattering people is even more funny. Always making Lu Susu happy, Jian Wu stood outside the door with a wotu in his hands, coughed dryly, and then walked to his shack. After a while, Xiang Yang returned to the shack alone. Walking into the house, he also took out a snack from his arms. It's made from lard, so delicious. Although Jian Wushuang was a little disdainful, his stomach was very honest, and he quickly took it over. "How is it? Have you looked for Husan? He cares more about this than the oil and water in his stomach." Xiang Yang sat on the bed and sighed. "I found it, but this guy is like a piece of wood. When I tried, he didn't understand a sentence. I can't just say that I want to kill Madman Yang. I forgot about this." Jian Wushuang patted his head. He forgot one very important thing. This is the mundane world. And this pier is the bottom of the mundane world. The people in the whole pier may not even know more than 10 characters, and they can't write their own names. Not to mention some hidden words, which are likely to be incomprehensible. "Forget it, he'll do this," Jian Wushuang said helplessly. "Husan is not bad, not in their assassination list. But it is not easy to get this person, because this kind of person is very loyal. He is Lu Ye's adopted son." 4229/10560102. Chapter 6244. Chapter 6244 changes. It is not easy for him to betray Lu Yi. The only breakthrough is Lu Susu. Afternoon. When his life was almost busy, Jian Wushuang found Husan on a merchant ship. But Lu Yi was also there. He didn't want to go forward, so he pretended to wash the deck next to him. Soon Lunatic Yang also came. Madman Yang at this time was well dressed. Wearing a black outfit, he came to Master Lu without looking at Husan, and said to Master Lu, "Lu blocks his head. I have almost finished the affairs in Qingshan town, and I will be able to accompany Su tomorrow. Let's go together." This sentence made Husan's brows move, and joy and anger also appeared on his face. Obviously some scruples about this decision. Master Lu, Susu is very good at the dock. Why do you want to go to Qingshan town? You don't know that the owner has been thinking about Susu. Isn't this a sheep entering the tiger's mouth? Forgot to tell you. The owner has no idea about Susu. Master Lu asked me to buy a yard in Qingshan town this time, because I want to marry Susu. Madman Yang was very proud when he spoke. Master Lu also nodded in satisfaction and said, the owner's side has been taken care of by Xiaoyang. This pier is still my world, and it's not bad for Susu to follow Xiaoyang. Husan, you should be happy about this. But Husan wanted to say something, but was interrupted by Master Lu. It's nothing to worry about. Susu's age is not too young. I think this is the way to do it. After Mr. Lu finished speaking, he suddenly thought of something and reminded. By the way, Husan, you go with Xiaoyang at night and kill that kid who is entangled in Susu. The tone of the command did not allow Tiger San to refute. Madman Yang was proud to follow Master Lu away from the merchant ship. Lonely Husan stood alone on the deck. Jian Wushuang listened carefully and walked out from the other side of the deck. Seeing his appearance, Husan was stunned for a moment, then said helplessly, did you hear what you just said? Not a single word. Jian Wushuang rolled up his sleeves, wrapped the dirty rag around his hands, and his eyes were extremely indifferent. He felt that to deal with such a reckless man, he should defeat the opponent first. What, do you want to start? As soon as Husan had finished speaking, Jian Wushuang had already started. It could even be said to be a sneak attack. He kicked Husan's thigh. This kick caught Husan by surprise, and he didn't expect that Jian Wushuang, who usually looks weak, would make such a clean shot. One didn't stand firm, almost to the end, but fortunately his physique was good, and he raised his hand to subdue Jian Wushuang. But Jian Wushuang would fight with brute force. He evaded the attack with a stray body, and punched Husan's chin with a solid punch. This time it was heavier, and Husanji felt that the world was spinning. Jian Wushuang shot again, seeing that the opponent's lower plate was unstable, and swept his legs directly, knocking Husan down. Immediately, he rushed up and aimed at Husan's chest with a few punches. Immediately, his hands were wrapped around Husan's neck, and Husan's face turned red, his eyes rolled upwards, and his hands were pulling and pulling, but he couldn't break free at all. In the end, he patted the floor with both hands, and Jian Wushuang let go of his arms. Both were lying on the deck, gasping for breath. Husan, I was able to kill you just now. You, ruthless. Jian Wushuang slowly got up, squatted on the ground and looked at Husan, and said, Husan, have you thought about the future? Been on this dock all the time? Or do you listen to people all your life? The continuous question made Husan, who was already dizzy, not knowing how to answer. Now I'll show you a way. Snapped. Jian Wushuang took out a sharpened piece of iron, wrapped around a cloth strip in his hand, which was very sharp. Help me kill Madman Yang. What if I don't agree? If you don't agree, I'll kill you. Madman Yang will take Lu Susu away, and you'll be dead too. Do you think Master Lu can hold me back? In fact, the previous threats made Husan indifferent. But when he heard that Lu Susu was taken away by Madman Yang, he immediately woke up and stood up abruptly. You can kill me, but you can't kill Master Lu. If Master Lu is dead, Madman Yang will definitely bully Susu. That's what's in the heart. In fact, Husan didn't care that much about Master Liu's life or death. But Master Lu is alive and can quell Madman Yang. If Master Lu dies, no one will protect Lu Susu. With the character of a lunatic Yang, it is possible to sell Susu. Husan, don't you like Lu Susu? Jian Wushuang held the iron piece and took a half step back. Husan's face turned even redder, and he quickly shook his head and said, Susu doesn't like me, she likes your little white face like Xiang Yang. This inevitably made Jian Wushuang touch his tan face. Thinking of the once brocade clothing and jade food, today's desolation is unbearable. Having fallen to this point, he has nothing to estimate. If you are really good for Lu Susu, then do me a favor, and you don't need to do it yourself. Help me and Xiang Yang leave this pier tomorrow. Then I will kill Madman Yang and give Lu Susu to you. This condition is very tempting. Without Husan's hands, he can also help Husan get Lu Susu. This time, Husan was obviously moved. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang continued. Actually, Lu Susu already has thoughts on you. This is what Xiang Yang told me. He said that Lu Susu likes a down-to-earth person like you. And you should also know that Xiang Yang and I are not ordinary people. There is no result with Lu Susu. When the time comes, Lu Susu will elope with you. And we will never see each other again in the future. Nor is he deceived. It is impossible for Xiang Yang to fall in love with a mortal girl. Even if he liked it, he would not let Xiang Yang succeed. Otherwise, Xing Luo would not even pay attention to them. If Xing Luo was watching from the side, it wouldn't be even worse. So I thought of this way. Give me some time. Tiger Sam began to hesitate. Jian Wushuang didn't force him anymore. He took the iron sheet and said indifferently, "Give me an answer tomorrow morning. It's too late. Lu Susu was taken away by that pervert young lunatic. Think about it." After speaking, he left the merchant ship directly. The first step has been done. He didn't believe that Husan dared to break through this matter. If it is pierced, then he and Xiang Yang will be finished. Don't worry, but take precautions. At night, when they were all asleep, he and Xiang Yang took turns to watch the night. I've been staring at Husan, afraid that this guy will sue, and that Husanjin will go with lunatic Yang to kill Xiang Yang. Fortunately, Husan was honest. Maybe he was thinking about what he said, and he never came out of the house. On the other hand, lunatic Yang went to Husan's shack. 80% of the time, he had discussed to kill Xiang Yang. But Husan was vague and said that he would do it himself after he left. Although Madman Yang hated Xiang Yang, he couldn't do it alone. He was afraid that Lu Susu would resent him because of this. 4229/10560103. Chapter 6245. Chapter 6245 Action remains unchanged walking out of the shack. He also kept staring at Lu Susu's room. Obviously some can't wait. This made Xiang Yang hate his teeth. Wait, tomorrow is your day of death. The next morning, these porters had just started to work, and Madman Yang packed up and took Lu Susu to leave the pier. Of course, he did not say why he went to Qingshan town this time. It's just that Master Lu asked the two of them to purchase some supplies. Lu Susu's personality is simple and she believes it. Before leaving, he said goodbye to Xiang Yang, and at the same time warned Husan to treat Xiang Yang better. Jian Wushuang touched Xiang Yang with his elbow beside him and teased, "This girl is not bad. I really care about you. Don't look at who trained it." Xiang Yang also boasted. After a while, Master Lu, who was upstairs, also came down, called to stop young lunatic. "Xiao Yang, don't rush to leave. There was a letter from the town last night. Today the Lu family will be here by merchant ship. Then you will go back with Susu's carriage and save the time on foot." After walking downstairs, he continued, "I don't know what the owner thinks. We insist that the third son also guard the pier. Maybe I will also go to Qingshan town. Let's go together at that time." When Madman Yang heard this, his complexion suddenly darkened. As a result, he would have less fun on the road. Moreover, Master Lu returned to Qingshan town. If he didn't come back, he wouldn't be used at that time. And Lu Susu, the duck to the mouth, would also fly away. In the face of the sudden change, Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang were caught off guard. But right now we can only take one step at a time, because Lu Susu will be leaving soon. This time, no one sheltered Xiang Yang. You can only follow Jian Wushuang to fight the sack. Until 3 poles in the sun, Lu Yi and others showed no sign of leaving. At this time, Husan approached actively and said in a low voice, "Master Lu is waiting for the merchant ship of the young master of the Lu family. It may be noon." The plan has changed, but the action has not changed. After speaking, the 3 of them got busy. Xiang Yang's body has been recovered these days, and he is no longer panting when resisting the sack. Until noon, a warship that was larger than the rest of the merchant ships came to the sea, and everyone stopped their busy work. Master Lu even ordered everyone to stand in line. "Welcome the third son of the Lu family." The warship docked. Master Lu took Madman Yang and stood in front of the pier together with Lu Susu, Lu Gongzi. At this time, Master Lu was very humble, and he was not close to the pier bully. On the deck of the warship, a tall and straight young man wearing a standard armor slowly walked down the deck. Dozens of sergeants walked down together behind him. These people have a chilling air. Apparently came down from the battlefield. Hussein also introduced in a low voice next to him. This is the third son of the owner of the wharf, and also a school consolation of Jianggua, who is in charge of the 2,000 soldiers and horses of Yongcheng. The Lu family is able to dominate Qingshan town because of this. He is the third son, so Master Lu is very polite to him. Yongcheng. Jian Wushuang frowned. He hadn't escaped yet. Why did this Yongcheng defender start to run away? Looking at a chilling air, it turned out to be a coward. Okay, don't worry about these people. Let's be our own. And once Master Lu leaves the pier, we will also leave secretly. Kindness. Tiger 3 nodded. This time he really figured it out. On the other side, Master Lu took the third son of the Lu family into the small building and vacated Lu Susu's room to entertain each other. During the banquet, both Lu Susu and Madman Yang went to accompany him. Looking at the third son of the Lu family, who looked like a man, he lost his cover at the wine table. It's just a wine bag. Otherwise, they would not have run over from Yongcheng. According to the current situation, the country of Yu is about to hit Yongcheng. During the banquet, Lu Gongzi kept staring at Lu Susu. Such an obvious meaning. Both Master Lu and Madman Yang could see what it meant. But Lu Susu was very resistant. He kept making excuses to leave, but was stopped by Master Lu. Tiger went to deliver wine 3 times, all frowning. By the afternoon, Lu Yi didn't say that he wanted to leave. Listening to Hussein's words, this time, the Lu family's son is here to leave a retreat for a certain dignitary in Yongcheng. Although Jian Wushuang has not seen the map of their location, but it can also be calculated. Jiang country is close to the sea. Of the 6 state capitals under its jurisdiction, 4 are near the coastline. Once the country of Yu comes over, Jianggua has only one way of retreat, and that is to flee towards the sea. On the other side of the sea, there is also a continent. In fact, the 2 continents are connected. This is an inland sea, and only one outlet is the real ocean. On the other side of the sea, there is also a dynasty, but that dynasty is much stronger than Jianggua, and even Yugua on the plain. Wherever these princes and nobles escape, they can enjoy it. But the premise is that they can escape, and secondly, they must bring enough property. This is not the Lu family son came. This time he also brought good news for Master Lu, but bad news for Jianggua. The Vietnamese side will soon resist Ben Heifu. At that time, there is a high probability of fleeing without a fight. Yongcheng is not even ready to defend. As for a town like Qingshan town without a garrison, it will naturally end. Therefore, the property that Lu Yi wanted to arrange in Qingshan town has no value. At that time, the Lu family will escape. That is Lu Ye's backing. Naturally, you have to follow the backer. After learning this news, he desperately flattered the third son of the Lu family. Madman Yang is very aware of current affairs, and directly draws a clear line with Lu Susu. Knowing that young Master Lu was interested in Lu Susu, he even deliberately pushed it to young Master Lu at the wine table. This made Lu Yi very angry. If you want to send someone, he should send it. The madman Shang Yang in that round was a bastard. But there is no way. Yang madman is from the Lu family, which is why he betrothed Lu Susu to him. But now that there are new thighs, it is natural to change people. The 2 have the same idea, but they both want that chip. Unlike their tit for tat, Lu Sangong enjoys this kind of thing, eating meat and drinking wine at the same time. But Hussein's eyes, who were squatting outside the door, were unusually cold. He never imagined that Master Lu would be so ruthless to his adopted daughter. In his early years, Master Lu was a freelancer in the arena, but after suffering internal injuries, he settled down in Qingshan town. They found him and Lu Susu on the street. Later, he clings to the Lu family for some reason, and he is even more indifferent to him, especially after the arrival of Madman Yang. But in order to repay his kindness, he has always obeyed Lu Ye's words. But this time, he chose to resist for Lu Susu. Hearing the noise in the house, he stood up and walked towards Jian Wushuang and Xiang Yang's shack. Get ready, those sergeants are almost drunk. Now. Xiang Yang hesitated. Jian Wushuang was very indifferent. He did more of this kind of thing, so naturally he wouldn't be nervous. 4229/10562432. Chapter 6246. Chapter 6246. You are the first to make up for the knife. Okay, but you have to wait a little longer. He looked at Husan. Now Husan is very anxious, but there is still one thing missing. That is anger. Tiger-san needs to be angry, so that it can play its biggest role. And now there are 4 sergeants guarding the warship. Several people in the room fainted. Not much of a threat to them. But these 4 are not the same. And the chilling aura on his body is even more intense. They are all people who have seen blood. Not easy to deal with. And the 4 people have been in the cabin all the time. And it can be seen that they are guarding something when they deliver meals. If he guesses right, the things these people are looking after are probably the property of a certain powerful person in Yongcheng. They can't escape from here without money. This thing is also useful to them, even if you don't take action against them. Once you take action against Master Lu and Madman Yang, young Master Lu will not watch. Anyway, sooner or later, it is better to kill these 4 people by sneak attack. After Jian Wushuang made up his mind, he asked Xiang Yang to stare at the people in the bamboo building. He and Husan went to the warship. Don't look at the 3 tigers on their backs, Kong Wu's powerful appearance, but they really want the opponent to kill. He was just like a big girl with a yellow flower, twisted and twisted. The stick in his hand was shaking. Jian Wushuang patted him on the back and comforted. Follow me, I will go first. You just need to make up a stick, and the speed should be as fast as possible. Kindness. Tiger nodded 3 times. He was completely pulled into the boat of thieves. He didn't dare to kill Madman Yang yesterday, and he dared to kill the court officers and soldiers today. This is what anger does. Jian Wushuang walked forward, holding a long knife behind his right hand. Masters, the food is delicious. Jian Wushuang, who quietly entered the cabin, made the sergeants who were sitting in the cabin vigilant and shouted loudly. Who let you in? Get out. It was young Master Lu who asked me to come, and he said he wanted to reward you all. Jian Wushuang's words made the 4 of them visibly relieved. The hand was also released from the handle of the knife. But Jian Wushuang's knife shot at this time. Knife. In the name of cruelty. Unlike swords. But Jian Wushuang is as fast as a knife. With a sudden shot, he directly wiped the neck of an officer and soldier, and the blood strips burst out in an instant. But Jian Wushuang's knife didn't stop at all, and went straight to the next one. Don't give them a chance to draw a knife. Several knives slashed out, killing 2 people in an instant, and 2 others were seriously injured to the end. And they were also brought down by Husan, who came from behind with a wooden stick. I don't know if it's death or life. Jian Wushuang wiped the blood on his face, and said indifferently, Go, it's time to find the right master. As soon as the 2 got out of the cabin, they saw outside the door of the bamboo building from a long distance, and 1 person was thrown out. It was Xiang Yang. The corner of Jian Wushuang's mouth moved. This was also his plan. Let Xiang Yang make trouble and anger Lu Gongzi. In this way, Lu Susu will risk her life to save her. As a result, the angry 3rd young Master Lu would definitely do something. After all, he has been in Yongcheng for so long, and he only needs to hook up with women. A little girl in the countryside dares to resist. How can there be good fruit to eat? Just as Jian Wushuang expected, Lu Susu was slapped aside by Lu Sangong as soon as he went to stop him. That bitch. Accompany this young master to drink, and dare to think about other men. Today I will let you think enough. Clang. Lu Sangong directly drew his sword, and was about to chop Xiang Yang. But Lu Susu jumped to block it. At this time, Jian Wushuang and Husan both rushed over. Especially Husan, burst out with an unstoppable momentum. The long stick in his hand no longer trembled, and greeted Lu Sangongzi on the head. Master Lu and Madman Yang didn't drink much. They were the most sober. They were going to stop young Master Lu San. But when they saw Hu San rushing in so angrily, they were blinded. Especially seeing Jian Wushuang covered in blood is like seeing a demon. Puff! Before Lu Sangong could react, he heard a muffled sound. Tiger Sanyi's stick was placed on Lu Sangongzi. Several drunken sergeants woke up in an instant. But when they went to touch the knife, they found that the knife had already been put away. And Jian Wushuang fired his sword again at this time. He chopped down all the sergeants who were unable to stand even several times. Such a big move. Attracting all the porters, they all gathered around. But seeing the pools of blood all over the ground, they were so frightened that they turned pale and did not dare to go forward. Jian Wushuang held the knife, stood on the threshold and said loudly, "These defeated and deserted troops, who ran to the dock to do evil, killed the porter and coolie at will, robbed the civilian girl, and attacked Miss Lu, they should be killed." This sentence is open and above board, and it stands firm in an instant. Madman Yang couldn't listen. In his eyes the Lu family was heaven. Not to mention the third son of Lu. Immediately, he shouted angrily, "Well, you Jian Wushuang, dare to kill the captain of the imperial court privately. The guys tied this man with me and went to the official uniform to exchange for money." This guy is not stupid, but unfortunately he said this sentence, and no one did it at all. If Hu San said this, I am afraid that someone will do it. Master Lu is not a fool either. He has already seen that Jian Wushuang has bewitched Hu San, and now daring to resist is a dead end. At this time, Xiang Yang got up from the ground, kicked the dust on his body, and ignored Lu Susu, who was frightened next to him, walked to Jian Wushuang, hooked his fingers and motioned for a knife. Jian Wushuang just threw it away. On the other hand, he went to the ground and picked up the saber on Lu Sangongzi's waist. The moment I held the hilt of the sword, I felt full of confidence. Even if 10,000 people are besieged, they can destroy everything. This is the strength of those who use swords. Even if he becomes immortal, with a sword in his hand, he is proud and unparalleled. Xiang Yang next to him needs less confidence. Holding the knife in his hand, he walked towards Madman Yang. Seeing this, Madman Yang quickly stepped back. "You, what are you doing?" Xiang Yang held the knife and said word by word, "Why? Of course I killed you." After saying that, it is a knife. Puff. This knife slashed directly into Yang Lunzi's face. Donated blood slipped down his face. Lunatic Yang, who was used to bullying others, could stand this, and suddenly shouted loudly. Pain mixed with fear. But Xiang Yang would not be soft-hearted at all. Keep shouting. Xiang Yang is like a changed person, slashing down with one knife after another. This scene frightened the porters, and also frightened Lu Susu. And Lu Yi, this old ruthless man who has been in the arena for decades, can't help but tremble. Compared with Xiang Yang, he is more afraid of Jian Wushuang. He didn't know when Jian Wushuang bewitched Hu San, and he was able to kill so many people to keep calm. Especially if you kill the third son of Lu, you will have nowhere to go in the future. It's a pity that he knew that Jian Wushuang had too many ways. Just run away. Kill a captain or something. Even if Jiang Guohuang came up, he killed him without error. Jian Wushuang will not even have any scruples. 4229/10562433 that you're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.